inherited from our harshest past, embedded in our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive, suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They're calling you an idiot to your face, like life is much more simple than that. We're all slaves and the cards are stacked, while we fight over problems we can fix. Industrialists turn our kids to addicts. The television does a job, introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you, keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. But stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. They don't know, they don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, they don't lie, but I'm gonna spit it like I know. They don't know, they don't know, that I'm gonna hit them with the shit. They don't lie, they don't lie, that you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. That you're gonna free your mind tonight, 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 tonight. If you see a man that needs help, then help a brother. If you see a sister on her own, still love her. Cause life is about how you choose to see it. But you gotta teach people how to learn to see it. The planet's been through suffering many times. We propagate many wars many times. The people need to wake up and stop accepting deceit from their own government's deception. You can't blame the people for needing protection from the government's bad reputation. We need to sing a song called Free the Nation, cause we done had a whole lot of separation. Racism, classism, nationalism, based on keeping people out on the plantation. That's the plan, no doubt, cause rich people got a plan, no doubt. If you still don't understand and believe that we are all one from the same mother, and respect each woman and man with the same consideration you would like to be given on a daily, then you need to retire so the new generation can take over and show you how to live and govern this place we call Earth home.
Everybody here, yeah.
They don't know, kid. They don't know, they don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, they don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, they don't know, that I'm gonna hit you with this shit. They don't lie,
alright, y'all.
They don't lie.
Back at it again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, it's V Media at you again, aka Empirical. Yeah, that's that song. They don't know. Damn, I love that song. I love that song. And that track, you know, is featuring this cat named cool cat out of Harlem named Tamu. Wow, you know, we really rock that track. It's a little different. But I don't know. I got I probably got about 3, 4, really in reality 3 complete bangers with Tamu. And you know, that we did some time ago, you know, and then I have a couple others. Tamu was with me a few times recording a few other tracks he's not appearing on, but you know, you might hear him in the background. So we did some stuff together, you know what I mean? But Tamu's from Harlem. I don't know where he's at now. He's probably in Europe somewhere, maybe Germany or something. But he was here in DK for a little while. But in any case, y'all, I'm back at it again. Oh, you can get if you're interested in the music, you can get it here. You can get it on YouTube. You can get it on Spotify under the name Empirical. Let me see. I think I got a link here. Let me try to get the link. Oh, yeah. Here's the link. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I forget. Here you go. If I go like this, you know, you got the Spotify link if you listen to Spotify, or you got the YouTube link if you listen to YouTube. Here we go. Let me put this here. I'll put it one at a time, man. And then I'm gonna get to the program, you know. Wow. Can I do this? Is this right? Here we go. Yeah. I got it now. Here we go. Sorry about the delay. This is YouTube right here. You can get the YouTube link, and then the second one is the Spotify link. Can I get that popping off? Right. Then there's the Spotify link right here. So there you have it. You know, that track, it's on my page under the artist name Empirical. That's my artist name. So check it out. You know, I actually co-produce music, write music with a few different people, and I've been doing that for quite some time now. You know, on the side of full-time life, you know what I mean? I always maintain my artistry and things like that. And I got to the point where I was like, you know, I got a lot of good music, so let me just share some of it with the world. You know what I'm saying? And keep it pushing. And, you know, and so far it's been going pretty well. I got a few gigs coming this summer. You know what I mean? It will be the first gigs I've done in a long time. I've been out there raising my kids and doing that thing, you know, the 9 to 5. But I'm pretty much ready now to get back active again. And yeah, it's going to be a beautiful thing. But in any case, let's get to the story here with our wonderful administration. Trump. He's got a whole heaping team of wild men. And I just have to say from the start, just right off the bat, to me, it pretty much seems like they're being extorted, like powerless regime, cowers to every major power. And beats its own society, its own citizens with a stick. You know, so that's what it looks like to me. I mean, and I wish the citizens had the power that other countries have, because apparently we don't, because we're the ones that get beat with the stick and other people get the soft gloves. You know, China gets the soft gloves with Trump. It's expected by many. Russia gets the soft gloves with Trump. It's expected by many. Netanyahu can do whatever the hell he want to do. Trump is like, yay, Netanyahu, you do what you want to do. Hey, you just do what you want to do. And I'm going to pretend like I don't see it. I'm going to close my eyes and give you some more weapons. And by the way, I'm going to, what is this? What is this with Iran? What are they up to with Iran? What are they up to with Venezuela? Like, to me, this all looks orchestrated by China, Russia, you know, and in this case, I don't know where Israel falls into play, but Venezuela looks pretty much like China, Russia, USA, like playing a game here. The Trump administration, like, is this like acting or something? Because how weird is it? It's just weird. Our president is not powerful. He's not powerful, except when he's dealing with his own people. That's the craziest thing on earth. I mean, he treats us worse than our competitors. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's really sad on the global stage. I see it as total capitulation, but I also see it as like blackmail. No, they got the goods on Trump. They have the goods on Trump. And you can't just keep trying to pretend like you don't see it, and keep trying to pretend like you don't see how Trump cowers down to Putin, Xi. You know what I'm saying? You can't pretend like it, Netanyahu. You can't pretend like it. This man is not in control of nobody, of nothing. And Sleepy Joe and Kamala Harris sure didn't seem to have allowed these people to walk all over them. You know, they seem to take the lead in everything. And with Trump, you know, it's like Trump is just like, when it comes to Ukraine, ain't nobody here, boss. Ain't nobody here but us chickens. Crack, 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 crack. He's just running his ass away from Putin. And when it comes to Xi, he is bending down, almost like to kiss the man's feet. If the man shows up, it's like, damn. Like, what is happening here? Every time Trump talks a strong hand, he goes and kisses their feet, except when he's dealing with American citizens. Then he brings out the sticks and the batons and the bullets. You know, I mean, listen, our president is a third-rate president. He is not the president of a superpower, or he doesn't act like it. He acts like he acts like a president of a third world country, like a country that's never had power really in the world in 1,000 years. That's what Trump acts like. It's just, so what is the excuse? What can you do? I mean, how is this person, I'm sorry, like, let's just pay attention to what's going on here. This is crazy. This is just a crazy position to juxtapose with. But just look at this. On one hand, we're inside of the United States, and we have Americans that just, are so harsh and so mean towards other Americans. And their president, the one they elect, says shit like this.
Beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss.
And then on the global stage, he's kissing ass and cowering. Just constantly cowering and cowering and cowering. It is utter embarrassment. I am fucking ashamed to be a goddamn American. Like, it's not that we perfect. It's not that we don't do things wrong. We do things wrong. But now I'm fucking ashamed. I mean, because this is not only that you do things wrong. This is cowering and doing things. Actually, is it doing things wrong? Or is it actually helping the world catch up? You know what I'm saying? Is it actually helping China catch up? Is it actually helping Putin catch up? Is it actually helping everyone else get a foothold, get a head start, get some of that time, catch up in that race? Is it helping the world? Is this Trump's weird way of helping the world? You know what I'm saying? Because I won't fucking understand it. If it's not him trying to help everybody else, I won't fucking understand it, because it is cowering. Man. Yo, listen, if this administration is not voted out and removed, I mean, all of them, I'm taking the first citizenship to any other fucking country. Like, after that, seriously, I'm not bullshitting, because something is really, really, really wrong here. Something's really wrong, and if that American citizenship is not going to mean shit, you see what I'm saying? If they don't give a fuck about it, and they act like they don't. Because like I said, their worst enemy, the people they treat the hardest, is American citizens, this administration. They step and walk all over American citizens. And then when they go abroad, they act like bitches. Like, really, they cower down to everyone. Next is Kim Jong-un. Trump is going to go cower down to Kim Jong-un also. And it's not personal. I'm not saying it's not personal. I don't hate China. I don't hate Russian people. I don't, what do I know about North Korean people? Not much. But I don't hate them. But if you talk about regimes and leadership, it has nothing to do with hate. We're a goddamn superpower, and our president is acting like the president of a nation that is just like, where have you been? A nation on the map no one knows. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And then look, then you have somebody over here bragging about it, talking about American citizens. Let's hear how they talk about American citizens, and then see how they talk about everybody else.
So many people living off the government handout.
I'm pretty sure welfare use per capita is higher in red states than blue states.
Yes, but there's so many people living off of the government handouts. And that is not that much farther away from slavery. They were a slave. They were given housing, food, clothing, medical care. The people asked them to work. Yes,
look,
there were
landowners. Look at Adam Mockler's fucking face. He's like, what the hell is this lady talking about? But this is what you got to deal with. And then when they go abroad, they cower to people. They cower. I mean, I don't know what to say. First of all, red state people, this lady wants you off of welfare ASAP. She's saying that you're living slave-like. It's almost like. It's just a little bit off of slavery. She's basically calling you slaves. This is crazy. I mean, there's so many ways you could go at this. But this is who Trump represents. This is who voted for Trump. And Trump cowers to world leaders. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yes, you, lady, you should
shut the fuck up.
Like, seriously. And and all the Trump supporters, because there's no way you can explain this. There's no way you could explain it. She's sitting there bitching about Americans getting and not even having what everyone else in every other capitalistic Western country on earth has. She's bitching about it like it's her own fucking money. That's how these people treat fellow Americans. And then they come and beat you with a fucking stick or shoot you in the fucking back. And then they go overseas and kiss ass. Then they go overseas and kiss fucking ass. And everyone should laugh at fucking Trump. Everyone should laugh at the United States right now. Yeah, don't be shy about it. Laugh your ass off. Because when leaders and administrations go rogue and go amok and go crazy on their own people and go crazy on everybody else, you have to laugh at them. You won't get after Trump. I mean, Trump is such a fucking ass. He's making such a fucking ass of himself. The president of the United States. You might never get a chance to laugh at another motherfucker that makes an ass of himself this much. It's just rare that it happens on the global stage. It's just rare. You see what I mean? Like, so go ahead and laugh it up. I won't deprive you of that. Laugh it up, everybody. God damn, Trump is what a fucking clown. Well, let's get to some serious nations real quick. Because there are some in the world. And let me see here. First, before I get into Trump's China fucking trip, which is a complete utter disaster. Cower. Can I kiss your ass, China? The kiss your ass China trip. That's what that should have been called. You know what I'm saying? But before I get into that, there's more on the global news. So I want to see what that looks like real quick. So give me a second. I'm going to start off with the Danish prime minister, or interim, I don't know, middle ground, because Denmark's still trying to appoint a new government, to make a new government, basically. So after this last election, they haven't formed it clearly, right? It hasn't been formed. The left was in the middle of forming a government with one of the moderates, and now the moderate walked away and walked to the other parties to see if they can create a government. And so, you know, things are in the mist right now, waiting in Denmark for a new government to come in to play, to see what it looks like. But having said that, Mette Frederiksen is on the world stage, and she actually was speaking with what is it, Anders Fogh Rasmussen, right? Who is I believe he was inside of the NATO, one of the heads of NATO, right? Is he still a rep in NATO? But in any case, he was also a prime minister of Denmark at one time. So I just want to see what's going on, because there's some messaging coming out of here that is just recent, just in the last within the 24 hours, right? So let's peep this real quick.
With us, and Anders Fogh Rasmussen is back with us to interview her.
And then I'll be right back, y'all.
Minister.
Dean welcomed you as Prime Minister, but actually you were acting Prime Minister.
Because it's amazing, because he's actually speaking English right here, and I almost didn't recognize it. I thought he was about to speak Danish for a second, but because of his Danish accent, you know. But in any case, let's hear.
Of your party.
Yeah. As it's well known, you and I may disagree on a number of domestic political issues, but I want to start by
he's eating. Listen to this
in public.
Yo, I don't know if y'all hear this, but he's chewing. What the heck, dude? Anders Fogh Rasmussen is chewing while he's giving a presentation, yo. I'm sorry, this is hilarious, but still, let me hear. I got to hear what they talked about here.
In private, that
this is a new world order. This is entitled "A New World Order Mette Frederiksen and Anders Fogh. So they're talking about some of the changes in NATO. So that's what it's about.
It comes to foreign policy, security policy, defense policy. You haven't done anything. You haven't said anything that I disagree with.
Okay.
On the contrary, I appreciate your strong leadership in helping Ukraine and bringing Denmark in front regarding defense investments. So, against that backdrop, I would like to ask you, how do you think the world's democracy should respond to the strongman of this world, Xi Jinping, Putin, Trump? Do you agree with the Canadian Prime Minister Carney that the middle powers should unite in a collective response against coercion?
Absolutely. That's the short answer. There's no way around. The old world, either it is changing rapidly or it's gone, and it will probably not return as we knew it. So we better hurry up. We have to speed up. We have to scale up. And yes, there are still democracies in power, and we have to join each other. And actually, that is what's going on now. So, I mean, it's very easy to have skepticism about the European Union. But if you look at the way EU works today, compared when I came into office, it's a much stronger European Union. We manage going through crisis. UK, let's see what will happen during next elections. But until now, they are moving closer to the rest of Europe again. If you look at the Nordic region, now we have Sweden and Finland in NATO, and we are much more coordinated in our daily life, politically, in defense, in security. Canada is moving much closer to its European partners. And if you look at NATO, in the last couple of years, Japan is now participating every time we have a NATO summit. The same goes for New Zealand, Australia, South Korea. So I think those of us who still believes in the old world order and who have the capability to change our world into a new world order, but based on the same values as the old one, should get much closer together. And that is what we're doing right now. So my guess is that coalition of the willing, the idea that some countries goes together and move things forward, is one of the methods you will see in the future, like we did on Ukraine, and like we are doing right now in Europe when it comes to defense and security. Because if you look at the northern part of Europe today, it's like a horseshoe, with the Netherlands, with UK, with Scandinavia and the northern countries, with the Baltic countries, with Poland. It's like a horseshoe, and it's the strongest defense region now in the world. And if we have Germany one day to structurally participate in our enhanced cooperation,
it's good for Americans to get a chance to listen to some other world leaders. Actually, and some other world leaders that the United States usually works with very closely. I mean, for example, there are some American bases in Denmark. So this is not what she's saying, is of consequence to American citizens also. You see what I mean? Like, it is going to have some kind of effect, right, on how the U.S. operates in this region particularly, right? So, and also, you get a chance to hear another leader of a powerful nation, right? A strong nation, right? Speak on world affairs. And also, Mette Frederiksen is also a woman. Americans don't know a lot about having a president or a leader, a prime minister or president who is a woman. That's never happened in the history of the United States of America. In its 250 years, it's a no-no. right? According to Americans, this is their values and their culture. And in Denmark, that is not the case. Denmark has had several, a couple of prime ministers, at least two, right? Isn't it? Is it maybe more? But this is in recent time. This is not like 2 in 50 years. This is like 2 in the last, decade, 15 years, something like that span since Obama. When Obama was president, one of his terms, there was another female prime minister here in Denmark. So it's a short span of time. So you could say this is a norm for Denmark now, pretty much, that you will see more female leadership. And I think that's a great thing personally, not to stop this video on what she's saying too much, but I think in terms of being an American, we can learn from that. We shouldn't just dismiss it like it's inconsequential. We should look at it. Listen, here's another line that can be drawn. Mette Frederiksen is a female leader. Not that changes her politic, but the country itself has universal health care. Yeah, has universal education. So is that another connecting point? Because the United States doesn't have it, and the United States has never had a female leader either. I'm just saying, so let's hear some more.
Participate in our enhanced cooperation. Well, then it's not just a horseshoe, then it's a brick, and it's a strong one. And
MAGA, if we want to remember, let's just peep this game. Let's just peep game here. Because there's so many points to draw, right? To draw from, right? And let's go back to MAGA and their little ideas.
Project
Look, here we go. Do they believe in women?
Rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
I don't think that was a good thing.
You don't think so?
I don't think it was a good thing. I believe
the 19th Amendment?
Yeah. Every person, women, men, black, white, whatever, has equal dignity under the law and before God. That doesn't mean they'll have the same roles and should have the same influence in a society.
So who should have influence in our society?
Christian leaders.
White Christian men. Interesting.
White Christian men.
Right. White Christian men. So Mette Frederiksen doesn't fit that model. She doesn't fit that model. Yeah, we just heard from MAGA. Yeah. You see, so there's some cultural differences here. There's some ethical differences. There's some morality differences here. You see? Yeah. It's worth pondering. But in any case, let's hear some more from Mette. And, I like what Ernest Foe said in the beginning. He said, although, he disagrees with her on a few different things, right? But the main things that in terms of her leadership with what was going on within NATO and things like that, he totally agrees with. And, I can relate to that. There's some things, a lot of things I like about Mette Frederiksen, and it's only a few things that I would ponder. That's all. But Danes are having that conversation among themselves. I'm not a Dane myself. I'm an American citizen who lives in Denmark. So, having said that, I like to hear how Danes debate the topic, and the nuances within Danish politics on the federal level. But let's see here. Look, so Zepper Warden says, I'm a Christian and I don't think it's right for the stupid Christians to be talking. Yeah, but who are the stupid Christians? Is it this one? Is this the stupid Christian? I'm just curious because I think Mette is a Christian too. So
loyalists and the biggest supporters of Project 2025 think about the rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
I don't think that was a good thing.
You don't think so?
I don't think it was a good thing. I believe
the 19th Amendment?
Yeah. Every person, women, men, black, white, whatever, has equal dignity under the law and before God. That doesn't mean they'll have the same roles and should have the same influence in a society.
So who should have influence in our society?
Christian leaders.
White Christian men.
White Christian men. Now, it's so fucking bizarre to hear that. I'm still waiting for Zepper Warden, because he still didn't answer my question. So I'm glad I asked, but I know what his opinion is. He didn't want to say, I just want people to peep here, right? See what he's writing in the chat. He first writes, I'm a Christian and I don't think it's right for stupid Christians to be talking. And I said, well, which one is the stupid Christian? Is it the MAGA guy who said women shouldn't have the right to lead? Or is it Meta Fredrickson, the woman who's a Christian? And he didn't answer that question. See, then he followed up with, after I asked him a question, God help anybody that touches my Constitution, as well as that's all I got to say about it. You see? So you got another misogynist or another person that can't admit when an American is wrong about something. That's called stubbornness and stupidity. And you're going to learn your lesson, you know, like all stubborn and stupid people do. You see? But until then, until you learn your lesson, be happy you're in the chat, man. You know, but I have to say I agree with Denmark on this, and I disagree with the pig who's speaking right here. I disagree with him totally. Fuck him and everything he's talking about.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, so that's how I feel about it. I can be very clear about it. I agree with Meta Fredrickson. I don't agree with him. Okay, very simple, easy question. Okay, now let's easy question to answer. Okay, now let's continue.
Yeah. Now speaking about the coalition of the willing, I hope it will not be the coalition of the
Rafika, what's up?
Because not a lot has happened. We're speaking about a coalition of the willing to help Ukraine. How do you see the state of affairs regarding that that coalition? There's a headquarters in Paris, but as far as I know, there are very few concrete commitments to actually deploy troops if needed.
Yeah, coalition of the waiting will be a disaster. And I think, to be very frank, the problem for us Europeans is that we still think and behave as it was in peacetime. And we are no longer at peacetime. I'm not saying we are at wartime directly, not all of us, but we are not any longer in peacetime. And therefore, first of all, we have to change our mindset. If we don't do that, then Russia is going to win. Because their mindset has never been at peacetime. They're always at wartime. And they have,
Facts.
I mean, they have the willingness always to fight as they were at war, and now they are in a war again. So changing our mindset is the most important thing. Today, Europe has a strategy of buying time because of what's going on in our transatlantic relationship. But buying time can only be a strategy if you use the time that you are buying in the smartest way. And if you look at what Denmark...
Yo, she's breaking off facts right here. She's breaking off facts. And the clock is ticking, you know. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to be you know, again, I'm more of a moderate, and I don't think war is a good thing, but defense is definitely a wise thing. It's definitely a wise thing because the world is changing. It is not the world once led by the U.S. anymore. And that puts security up in the air. So if you don't reform your security, right, and your alliances, then you're going to be ass out. You don't know how fast the world can change. Look, there's a lot of people that believe Russia is about to fall apart. Just because Putin took on this war with Ukraine, you know, and was willing to use so many of his soldiers to die and so much of his country's wealth to just blow up there and burn up there, right? That the rest of the country has been falling apart while he's been at war with Ukraine, you know. So what happens if Eastern Russia falls apart? What would China do? Would China, just like anybody being inside of Eastern Russia, taking over Eastern Russia, making a new country? Would China like that? You see what I mean? So, and think about this. Whose interest is that in? You know, China, you know, is talking about, I mean, you saw Trump today, right? I'm going to tie in some facts here. You saw Trump today, right, over in China, cowering to China. So you see China is going to use that as the ability to threaten Taiwan and everyone else in the Asian Ocean, right? Right? You see? So what would prevent China from doing that? A crumbling Russia, essentially, you know. But the only question is, you know, people don't want it to crush, you know, to you know, turn into something that Europe has to deal with. But you know, the Eastern Russia's a big ass country. You know, what necessarily goes on the West doesn't mean it goes on in the East, and vice versa. It's that big. Russia's the biggest geographical country on Earth, and it only has 150 million people. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I pull up that map while we talk about this. I'm gonna play some more of Meta's words here. This is the Prime Minister of Denmark being asked some questions by Anders Fogh, who was also a previous prime minister.
Transatlantic relationship. But buying time can only be a strategy if you use the time that you are buying in the smartest way. And if you look at what Denmark have done in the last couple of years, I mean, when I came into office, we spent 1.3 on defense. Now we spend 3.5.
Yeah, that's
it's
double.
Almost tripling up.
Almost tripling.
And you can only do that if you stick to your own strategy, and if you don't think as we were at peacetime. Looking at Ukraine today, the main reason why Ukraine is still standing is Ukraine. It's not because of the rest of us. And the only reason why they didn't win Kiev in the first couple of days in the war was because of the Ukrainians. Some of us, and after that, many of us have supported them. It's good. But I mean, everything has been too slow, asking me. So you remember when we had the discussions about F-16s, we were not allowed as Danes to provide Ukraine with what was totally necessary because some allies said no. You remember the discussion we had in Vilnius and in Washington about Ukraine getting into NATO. Some allies said no, they are still not a member of NATO. It would have been much easier and much cheaper to have them as a member, because then we would be in a totally other situation. You remember the discussion about red lines on the long-ranging missiles and so on. Some allies said no. So we have been asking them to fight for the entire European Union with one hand tied on their back. That has been a huge mistake. So if you want to win a war, you have to fight it. And therefore, when you ask me, what should the democracies do to win the battle on the global scene, there is only one way forward, and it is to be more powerful than the others. So in the future, power will be the only money you can buy something with. Talking about Ukraine today, I think there are some positive signs on the battlefield. I do not participate in the wordings about that we see a totally weakened Russia. My guess is that Russia are preparing themselves to attack into another European country. I actually see no signs of the opposite. Our problem is that the so-called peace negotiations with US and Russia has, there are no results, and a bad so-called peace deal for Ukraine would probably be a disaster for the rest of Europe. So I think we have to stick to what we have said from the beginning of this war, that we will not accept any Russian win in this war. That cannot be the conclusion.
Mm.
Yeah, for people that don't know who this is Mette Frederiksen, the Prime Minister of Denmark, speaking with Anders Fogh, one of the ex-prime ministers, about the affairs of Europe, the security issues, and and this is just in the last, what is it? What is this, 20? This is just in the last 24 hours. This happened yesterday.
Agree more also on a possible Ukrainian membership of NATO. That would be the most effective, least expensive way of guaranteeing the security of Ukraine. But in the lack of that membership, could you imagine a new European security architecture where Ukraine is an integrated part? So Ukraine is not only a consumer of security, but a producer of security. It's the strongest military power, the most battle-tested military power in Europe. So why not include Ukraine in a multilateral European new security architecture?
I don't only believe in it. I think we totally depend on them now because of what you said. And one of the things I'm really proud of being a part of is the Danish model in Ukraine, because as you know, we have been one of the biggest donors to Ukraine. Because from the beginning of the war, I haven't
Facts.
seen this conflict as a conflict about Ukraine, but as a conflict about Europe and Russia and Russia's imperial dreams. And when you know that Russia wants the old empire back, then
you know, exactly. Now, see, a lot of people, I'm sorry, but there's so many Americans, but also people in general that need a refresher in history, right? That need some kind of reminder about what's been going on and why it's been going on and the history of what's been going on with Russia and its relations with other countries, right, in Europe. You know what? What is this all about here? I'm sorry, 2 seconds. Why is this popping up? What do I got to do? Something like this, maybe? Yeah, I'm not sure why this popped up on my screen. Can I do? There we go. Okay. So now I need to just go like this, right? There we go. So in the history of Russia, right? And there is a lot to review. People need to think about it in terms of its colonial history. And that's its imperial history. You see what I mean? And they have ambitions, and they always have. And when you go into the history of Europe and you see the conflicts that have existed in the past, in the colonial period, you will know a lot more about what is going on in the thinking between Russia, you know, people like Putin, and then Western Europe, you know, the rest of what is called the EU today, right? And you could see the neighbor to Europe is Russia. That's the immediate neighbor. Finland. Across the border, Russia's there. This little white thing is Russia. So all these countries, especially the Baltics, where Mette Frederiksen is speaking about, you know, it has a history where Russia, you know, at one time, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, right? You know, even Czech, even down here, you know, in some Slovakia, this kind of area, it had, in the Cold War, it had a lot of contact and forces there. So these countries retrieving their independence again is part of that. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times when we look, sometimes I just notice online there's a tendency for people to only review Russia's relationship with Africa and colonialization, and not Europe and colonization. Not even, people don't even care that, you know, Kazakhstan, for example, in other countries may have a different view of Russia, not as a savior. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think people should review when they listen to what, for example, Mette Frederiksen's perspective is. There's different perspective to understand on the topic, because you will confront the perspective in reality. It's not just a fictional thing. It's, if you hear Mette Frederiksen speaking like this, it's representative of many, you see, and not just Danes, but Europeans, you see. So given the history, so yeah.
You really have to be aware and stop them. Or I haven't seen this conflict as a conflict about Ukraine, but as a conflict about Europe and Russia and Russia's imperial dreams. And when you know that Russia wants the old empire back, then you really have to be aware and stop them before going even further. But at some point, we didn't have any more to give away. I mean, we simply ran out of equipment that we could donate to Ukraine, and we couldn't buy because people were out of stocks. And then we developed this Danish model where we support production lines directly in Ukraine. And that is at least a small part of why Ukraine is still standing, especially on drones, but also on other capabilities nowadays. So what they have experienced on the battlefield, and by the way, the drones have changed everything in sea and in sky and on land. And therefore, when we are, rearming Europe, we have to think differently from what we were thinking about just a few years ago. So, I mean, their experience on the battlefield, their production on different kind of capabilities, we need to put it into rearming the rest of Europe, yeah. And rearming Europe, in my perspective, is now, it's not in 35. I disagreed, actually, when we had a new goal in NATO about using 3.5 in 35. That would be too late. It is latest by 2030 that everybody should reach 3.5. And asking me, are you sure that it will be enough? No. because I think Europe has to be able to defend itself. Absolutely. I mean, totally. Not only because of Russia, the problems with terrorism coming from the south, problems in the Arctic region. You just heard Jens Frederik, by the way, a leader I really admire. But also because it's a question about, for me, it's a question about identity. A Europe that is not willing and not able to defend itself, who are we then?
Yeah. Well, we are soon going to close this discussion.
All right, there we
I
have
will
it.
not interfere with domestic Danish
Maybe
politics.
it could be helpful, actually, if you did.
That's funny.
Well, but anyway, according to
Trump would do
the
that.
Democracy Perception Index that we published.
Now you just saw the index that I was looking at and quoting like two streams ago. That's the one that he's speaking about now.
Today, Denmark stands out as one of the countries happiest with our democracy, and by the way, with most people willing to fight for our country. So, what do you think make Denmark's democracy strong?
Woo.
And what could others learn?
Damn, let me hear that question one more time. Let me hear this question one more time. I didn't expect to hear that question.
Anyway, according to the Democracy Perception Index that we published today, Denmark stands out as one of the countries happiest with our democracy.
That's what it was about.
And by the way, with most people willing to fight for our country.
Yes. Did you hear that? He's absolutely right about that. He is absolutely right about that. And, you know, I just got to say, as an American, I've met a lot of Danes, you know, doing protests, doing anti-Trump protests, also, you know, anti-autocracy protests here, you know, and especially there was a really huge one manifestation that happened. I forget the day that another American I know here organized this event. It was pretty huge. We've all kind of been taking turns organizing events in front of the embassy, but this one was huge because it was the same day that the Danish veterans were doing a demonstration. So they came and met us in front of the embassy also, and it was low. It was just the whole street was cut off. It was packed. The whole street was packed with veterans and Americans and Danes, right? And yo, let me tell you, people need to understand that when you have a chance to fight for something, you fight for something that is good, you know. And as an American, most Americans know that, you know, the ones of us that live in Denmark, we know Denmark is a good country. And why? Because we have something like our own experience in our own country to compare it to. Yes. When we compare our lives in the U.S., we know that Denmark has universal health care for all. Our country doesn't. When we compare our country to Denmark, and we think about the young people and how fair it is for them in our society in the U.S., when we think about Denmark, we see Denmark has done something different. They've said universal education for all. And when you do things like this, people are going to want to stand up and understand something. It's not just going to be about standing up for Denmark. It's going to be about standing up for democracy, social democracy. You see what I mean? That's something worth fighting for. What do you want? You want to just live under some autocrat's fucking rule? Because that's not what makes countries wealthy. Trump is about to take the United States to the poorhouse just because he doesn't know how to motivate people properly, how to invest in your human manpower, to invest in your human resources. As a government, the Trump administration knows nothing about that. And as Americans, we struggle to know something about that. But Denmark can teach us something about that. So I'm glad that he asked that question. Let me see here.
Without. Anyway, according to the Democracy Perception Index that we published today, Denmark stands out as one of the countries happiest with our democracy. And, by the way, with most people willing to fight for our country. So what do you think make Denmark's democracy strong, and what could others learn?
Yo, win 60. Exactly. I hear you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's a big question. I will say cohesion and social balance as the most important aspects.
What?
Because if people
cohesion and social balance. Okay, let me see what she means by that.
Don't trust that tomorrow will be better than yesterday, then they stop believing in democracy.
Yo, she speaks. That is definitely something that the Trump administration doesn't even know how to articulate. And keep in mind, it's coming from a Dane, a person who's the prime minister of a country that does have universal health care and universal education. That means universal health care means elder care also, care for the handicapped, care for, any average person that gets sick. Okay. Your employer is not worried about who's going to take care of you when you get sick at work. Okay. Everybody's going to take care of you so you can get back to work and get back to your job and keep your job. Okay. So you can be a part of the industry, so you can be a part of the society. You see what I mean? And, in the United States, employers are like, damn, I got to pay for this person's health care. Like, seriously. And a lot of people are working with no fucking health care. How's that possible? Or little access to it because they can't afford the deductibles. And these deductibles aren't $1. They're not like in Sweden. Sweden might have, $5 night at the hospital. You know what I'm saying? For an operation and everything, you might have to pay for the night in the hospital. $5. Okay. Sweden's a little different. But the U.S., it's not $5 goddamn dollars a night. It's $500. It's fucking $500 a night if they even accept you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is insane. And we're talking about the richest country on earth. Everyone with less is doing, their citizens are doing better. Everyone with less, their citizens are doing better. We have more. And our citizens are fucking in the fire every day, worried about what tomorrow is going to bring. That's exactly what she said. Listen to this.
That's a big question. I will say cohesion and social balance as the most important aspects. Because if people don't trust that tomorrow will be better than yesterday, then they stop believing in democracy.
Think about this. As an American, how many people go to work every day just to not know if they're going to be able to afford the rent if they lose their goddamn job? That's a huge segment of American citizens fucking work. And even a lot of us think it's normal. A lot of us just think it's normal. No plan is almost normal in the U.S. No view about tomorrow or the future if you lose your job. There's nothing there. Americans got a whole lot to learn from Danes, y'all. I'm just telling you. We obviously teach each other and have been for a while, but on this, there's no question whatsoever. Denmark is ahead of a lot of countries with this concept. The Nordic model, like, they're not bullshitting and they're proud of the model. They're proud of that model. It's not something insignificant you can just laugh at or overlook. No, that's something major. Having major waves and impacts across the West. In fact, the United States stands alone as the only Western capitalistic society that doesn't have this model. Period. The United States is all by itself, and it treats its citizens horribly.
And
are its citizens going to stand up and fight for it when its government treats its citizens horribly? Fuck no. That's just the reality. But in Denmark, even people that aren't from this place are going to stand up. Trust me, and I'm one of them. Like, trust me.
It is extremely difficult to carry responsibility today because there are so many voices in the public atmosphere telling people that they can solve all the problems so easily. They are lying, we know that. The populists will never be able to do what they are claiming, but the voices are extremely strong. And because of social media, that we haven't been able to regulate the algorithms yet, then you will.
You hear what she's talking about? Yes. Yes, and I'm gonna tell you something. Let me just keep it real. What she said about that last thing, about people need to see a future, and if people don't see a future, let's go back to that comment, because there's some people I see that this went right over their head. Maybe the arrogance makes it go over their head. I don't know.
With most people willing to fight for our country. So what do you think make Denmark's democracy strong, and what could others learn?
I know. I can answer that question. I'll answer it backwards. What's different about the U.S. and Denmark? Because there's no way in fucking hell I'm fighting for this motherfucker's principles whatsoever. Fuck him. He's a complete, utter bigot. As long as people like this rule our country, most Americans will not fucking fight. I'm just going to tell you, because he hates most Americans. Look at this.
White Christian men.
This is the people that vote for Trump. You will never get me to fight for that administration. Just flat out. That would be insane.
Loyalists and the biggest supporters of Project 2025 think about the rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Why would I? Nobody's telling me something like that. There's no political party coming. Metaphysics not saying that. You know what I'm saying? Look, even in Europe, at least the right wingers believe in universal health care. Even the right wingers believe in universal education for the people. The United States don't even. This is the right wingers. They don't want in America, in the U.S. The right wingers don't want the women to even fucking vote. It's like they want everybody to be a slave. It's like, I mean, really, why would I fight for this? Why would I fight for this? Any motherfucker that wears this hat and has a person like this talking, I'm not doing shit for them. Like, straight up, not doing nada.
A man doesn't choose porn, avoidance, and smoke.
Hold on, what the fuck? Here, come on. Is this some goddamn? Okay, here we go.
Loyalists and the biggest supporters of Project 2025 think about the rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
Right.
I don't think that was a good thing.
You don't think so?
So people hear that, right? Now, I'm not going to I'm not going to be fighting for anybody that doesn't believe women shouldn't have the right to vote. Why would I do that? So when we hear this question again, what is it that Denmark does different? Denmark does a lot of shit different. You see, and that's one of the things that's very important. Why would I fight for a country or with a leader who doesn't even believe that women should have the right to vote? Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. That means I don't think my daughter should have the right to vote. My mama, my sister, my wife, girlfriend. Come on, that's insane. And that's what we have in the United States of America. So hell fucking no. I'm not going to fight for any goddamn administration that promotes that kind of shit. Fuck that. That's insane. That is insane. So let's hear a voice of reason now on the contrast. Something not American, something Danish.
Democracy. And, by the way, with most people willing to fight for our country. So what do you think make Denmark's democracy strong, and what could others learn?
That's a big question. I will say cohesion and social balance as the most important aspects. Because if people don't trust that tomorrow will be better than yesterday, then they stop believing in democracy. And it is extremely difficult to carry responsibility today because there are so many voices in the public atmosphere telling people that they can solve all the problems so easily. They are lying, we know that. The populists will never be able to do what they are claiming, but the voices are extremely strong. And because of social media, that we haven't been able to regulate the algorithms yet, then you will look into a more fragmented, more divided political landscape. So I think one of the reasons why Denmark is still in a good democratic position is because of our cohesion. That is one of where the areas where we disagree a little bit, that inequality is not too big, that people still believe in our welfare system, and that they believe that someone will, have their back if something happens. So fighting for democracy today is on the global scene when it comes to rearming ourselves, security and defense. It is to regulate tough the tech giants because they are working directly against our democracies. And it's like we don't understand it. We don't believe in it. It's too scary, but they will do what they can, and they are, by the way, working hard on it to undermine everything we believe in. And then thirdly, build a strong society where people believe that tomorrow can actually be better. Otherwise, they won't vote for people like you and I.
Damn. You know what? I like her perspective. Now, let me ask everybody in the chat, please state what country you're in right now. What country and state you're in, if you understand what state it is. Yeah, what city or country, what country and state are you in? If you're in the chat, and my chat is open, so I expect everybody to participate in the questions. People that don't answer my questions that are in my chat, I usually end up timing them out for the rest of the show. So if you're enjoying the chat, answer this question. What state are you in? What country are you in? I want to know that. Otherwise, what you say doesn't even matter to me. Okay? You can have an opinion, but if I can't know something about you, then I can't trust your opinion. Okay? So, yeah, everybody in the chat, let me know what country and what state you're in. Still waiting. Oh, okay. Win says 60. What's up, Ontario? There you go. Haven't seen Joe. Haven't seen Peter. Peter, Joe. What country are you in, Peter and Joe? What's up? Come on now. Canada and its. Okay, U.S. Washington. Let me see here. Now, somebody didn't answer that question. Joe didn't answer the question. So, Joe, you got about 2 more seconds or I'm just going to time you out, man. All right? Since you didn't volunteer. Okay, yeah, there you go. California. Okay. So, let me tell you something, Joe. Joe, you said entire population of Denmark can fight and they wouldn't do what? Let me see something here. And they still wouldn't make it very far. Well, let me tell you something. How far is the United States going with Iran? How far of a distance is Russia doing with Ukraine? If you're better, you see. So, our president is the laughing fucking stock of the world. I don't know if you noticed that. So, and our military ain't looking too masterful under his leadership. So, I don't think that's a position to be bragging in or even criticizing other people. I mean, when you're bowing at the feet of Xi and Putin and Netanyahu, you ain't shit anyway. Let's just be honest. Pride does fucking matter. Don't you understand that? I'm serious. Don't you fucking understand that? Sometimes it's a time to fight anyway. Okay, especially when somebody is trying to disrespect you. Look at, you said all this shit. Whatever happened to Trump's threats about Greenland? Whatever happened? Why you so confident in something else? Shit, let me remind you what happened. United States, under Trump's leadership, threatened to invade and take Greenland. And Danes said, come on, shoot first. That's when the leader, the prime minister, came out and said, yeah, well, we gave the order, do not call Central Command. Shoot first, call after. If they invade, you shoot them first. Do not call us here in Denmark, okay? And Trump was like, oh, well, we better go fuck with somebody else. Let's go fuck with Venezuela. Okay, that's what they said. And guess what? Everyone else was like, yeah, this ain't a plan anyway. Trump is full of shit. You know what I'm saying? And they dealt with that shit. So, I mean, you're the superpower. The United States is supposed to be the biggest superpower on earth. Why is Venezuela fucking making you look stupid? Why is our president cowering to Putin? Why is our president cowering to Xi? Why is our president cowering to Netanyahu? Donald Trump is a bitch. And he is not a proud American. No proud American would do what fucking Donald Trump does. And your military ain't shit with a leader like Trump. It won't ever be. Okay? You need to at least have a proud American leading it. 6 million Danes can do a whole lot more than a bunch of fucking crazy ass dorks who are fucking racist, who don't even want to work with other Americans. What are you talking about? If you go into war right now with a major power, you're going to fucking lose, because all those people that our president has been disrespecting that are also Americans are going to be like, fuck you, buddy. You die first for this prick. Yeah. So just remember, it's easy to talk that shit. I think you're having a problem with the fact that somebody in Denmark knows a little something about how to keep people together and keep people proud of their country, and our president fucking doesn't. Let's listen to the question again. Damn, this question must have triggered somebody.
The security of Ukraine, but in the lack of that membership, could you?
Let me see here.
5 and asking me, are you sure that it'll
domestic Danish?
Here we go. Let's hear this again, because somebody got triggered. Someone didn't like this answer. I see. Somebody got they got scared of little old Denmark because Denmark has more cohesion than the United States. Is that the problem? Let's listen to her. I think she's talking about Trump's dumbass and Americans right now. Let's take a peep. And she should, because after all, our stupid fucking government threatened a fucking ally. Fuck those people that did that and everything they stand for. Fuck Trump. Fuck Hegseth. Fuck J.D. Vance. Fuck Elon Musk. Fuck all of them together at one time. Let's listen again.
Maybe it could be helpful, actually, if you did.
Well, but anyway, according to the Democracy Perception Index that we published today, Denmark stands out as one of the countries happiest with our democracy. And by the way, with most people willing to fight for our country.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
And me too. As an American citizen living in Denmark, I will fight for this fucking country way faster than I will fight for my country right now. I used to be proud of my country. I'm fucking ashamed of my country right now. And you just can't trust Trump. So I will never fucking fight. You know what I'm saying? I would never fight for the United States of America with anyone close to somebody as bitch ass and as bigoted as Trump. He's a traitor. Period. You see? And that used to count. That's some of the cohesion she's talking about. It's hard to keep people together when you're a traitor to everybody in the nation. You know? Why do you think Trump is kissing Putin's ass? You think it's because he's fucking some sort of patriot? You think he's kissing Xi's ass because he's some sort of patriot? You think he's kissing Netanyahu's ass because he's some sort of patriot? Why do you think Elon Musk is over there begging fucking Xi? I bet you there's more to this story that hasn't come out yet. I bet you. Yep. I bet you they're not feeling so nice anymore. We're going to get a chance to look at Pete bitch ass Hegseth, keg breath, and how he looks so goddamn nervous today. Like, damn, they got all this shit on Trump? Goddamn.
And what could others learn?
That's a big question. I will say cohesion and social balance as the most important aspects.
The United States has no cohesion and social balance, period. And it's because of fucking Trump and MAGA and these goddamn Elon Musk, these fucking traitors. That's why.
Because if people don't trust that tomorrow will be better than yesterday.
People in America don't trust that tomorrow will be better than yesterday.
Then they stop believing in democracy.
How many more Americans don't even fucking show up to vote at the voting poll? 80% of Danes vote. What's that number like in the U.S.? Is that 80%? Is it 70%? Or is it 60%? Do you know? Tell me, chat. What percentage of Americans actually vote in presidential elections? Is it 80%, 70%, 60%? What percentage of the voters vote in Denmark? Oh, let me just put the chat in private. I hope you guys subscribed because, you know, when I don't get here, see people cooperating so easy in the chat when I ask a question, I just feel like, fuck it. Let me just put the chat in and let me put it in subscriber mode real quick. So people that's not subscribed, see you later, man. You know, let me take a second. I'm going to play this and put it in subscriber mode.
And it is extremely difficult to carry responsibility today because there are so many voices in the public atmosphere telling people that they can solve all the problems so easily. They are lying, we know that. The populists will never be able to do what they are claiming, but the voices are extremely strong. And because of social media, that we haven't been able to regulate the algorithms yet, then you will look into a more fragmented, more divided political landscape. So I think one of the reasons why Denmark is still in a good democratic position is because of our cohesion. That is one of where the areas where we disagree a little bit. That inequality is not too big. That people still believe in our welfare system, and that they believe that someone will, have their back if something happens.
One thing you got to understand, Danes that are listening, you got to understand something. Regardless of your political party, you need to understand what she said, especially when you compare it to the U.S., is 100% correct. It's 100% correct. You should be proud to be Danes and to actually have the country you have and the system you have that you created yourselves. It's called the Nordic model. You should be very, very proud of that. You should be recognized of that to be a form of democracy that many can adopt around the world. The one in the United States is not working. It's not working. I'm just telling you that as an American. Okay. My family goes back on both sides to the colonial period. And I'm telling you that as an American, you know, a real American. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So, not that there's phony ones or things like that, but I'm saying I'm an actual authentic American that lives in Denmark. You see what I mean? Born and raised in Washington, D.C., the capital of the country, you know, and then I moved to Denmark when I was in my 30s. You see, so I'm just telling you straight up, out of having a lot of respect for the country that I live in, that our democracy is not functioning well. And it's because we refuse to learn from other Western countries. We refuse to learn about very basic things that many other people are learning from and looking to. We are too fucking hard-headed and arrogant. Our leadership is arrogant. You see, our country members, because they haven't been well schooled, are fucking ignorant. They vote against their own basic interests and they allow culture wars to take over everything and blind them to anything else that's important in governance. And I'm telling you that as an American whose family goes back to the colonial period on both sides. I know American culture. I've been all over the country my entire life. Right? Different regions, different sectors of the country, right? I know how Americans are. We're more the same than different. But when people get into these culture wars, all they do is rip Americans apart, start coming up with a phony history. And now you see we got Trump as the president and he's a traitor to the United States of America. That's how it works. So if you want chaos to come here too, and more importantly, also to Europe, to broader Europe, continue to feed into the culture wars, feed into the division, and ignore what you've been able to offer others. Ignore that and you'll see how fast it comes. You see what I mean? But now you better take it serious because you're on your own. You know, you don't know if the United States is going to survive this. You don't know if the United States is going to come back, return to being an ally, a reliable partner. You don't know that. So you don't have many chances to fuck up right now. You see what I mean? So I hope all Danes are taking this moment in history serious. It's a good one, though. It's not all bad. You can take some leadership. You can show how your model is better. You can be a beacon to the rest of the world. Like, seriously, you can be a beacon for the rest of the world, because the United States is not that beacon right now. And on top of it, we don't even deserve it. I'm just telling you, we don't deserve it. We've done a lot of great things in the past, but you have to continue to do good things. You can't just live off of what you did 50, 60, 70 years ago. No, you have to continue to do good works. You see what I mean? And for some reason, you know, we're richer than ever. Our wealthy people are richer than any other wealthy people in Europe. They're richer than any wealthy people on earth, our wealthy people. But in a way, it's corrupted them too. And it's corrupted our society also. So take note of that. You've been able to do a lot more with a little less just because of how you manage it. So peep game.
So fighting for democracy today is on the global scene when it comes to rearming ourselves, security and defense. It is to regulate tough the tech giants, because they are working directly against our democracies. And it's like we don't understand it. We don't believe in it. It's too scary, but they will do what they can, and they are, by the way, working hard on it to undermine everything we believe in. And then thirdly, build a strong society where people believe that tomorrow can actually be better. Otherwise, they won't vote for people like you and I.
Acting Prime Minister Mette, thank you.
Yeah, she's the acting prime minister now because they're in the middle. You know, the new government hasn't been formed yet after this past election, so that happened like a month ago. So now they can't agree. You know, every time this happens, there's an election. You know, if one party is not, if you don't get enough people to form the government from different parties in Denmark, then they have to find another way. They got to give the other parties the chance to try to formulate something. So that's what the the king of Denmark suggested, that since the red bloc couldn't pull all the votes together with the moderates, that the moderates go and try to pull it together with the right wing. You know, let's see. But listen, even the right wing in Denmark agrees with universal health care, universal education, pretty much. So just to put that out there, because I know I got a lot of American listeners and they might start thinking right wing means J.D. Vance. No, it doesn't mean J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is a moron, you know. And yeah, although the right wing can be troubling at times and concerning for a lot of people, it can be a scary thing. But I don't think most Danes want to revisit anything that resembles Donald J. Trump, the language of it or anything like that. I think they can see from a distance that this is not the time for, what can I say? This is not the time to create insecurity, you know. But in any case,
you have. I think you have still some time to go before forming a new government. The Belgians used 541 days to form a new government after the 2010 elections, and the Dutch, they used 299 days. So you have still some time to go. Thank you very much.
And now we come to a very special moment at the Copenhagen Democracy Summit. We are proud to welcome Women Political Leaders, WPL, as a summit partner. WPL is the global network of women presidents, prime ministers, cabinet ministers, and parliamentarians working to change the face of political power and to make women's leadership visible at the highest levels of decision-making. The WPL Trailblazer Award 2026 will be presented to Acting Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen by Silvana Koch-Marin, President and founder of Women Political Leaders and former Vice President and member of the European Parliament. Please welcome Silvana Koch-Marin to the stage.
Thank you, Jean. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a tremendous honor for WPL to present the Trailblazer Award to Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen. WPL recognizes with...
Sorry about this. Yo, 6 cents. Yo, what are you talking about? The email. What email is that? Is that... Let me know. Tell me, where's that coming out of? Is that some files, FBI files, or what? I see your comment about emails. All right, let me know.
With this award, the very few women that made it to the top level of political power. Today, May 2026, more than 90% of the world's presidents and prime ministers are men. But WPL also recognizes with this award outstanding leadership. And that's what Mette Frederiksen is about. I try to pronounce Mette the Danish way, and that gets me hooked up into complications. So Mette Frederiksen was the youngest ever person to assume the role of prime minister in Denmark. When she did that, she knew politics. She knew Denmark.
I didn't actually know that. I didn't know she was the youngest prime minister to take the seat. I had no clue, actually. Damn.
But I don't think that she knew what was to come in her time of prime ministerial responsibility. But Prime Minister Frederiksen reminds us what leadership looks like when history gets difficult. Leadership when the pressure is real. Through crisis after crisis, and there were so many, COVID, Russia's attack on Ukraine.
Facts.
Rising threats to democracy, instability in the Arctic, uncertainty on NATO. Through all these crises, she has led with clarity, courage, and conviction. She has been clear in standing with Ukraine, and equally clear in standing up for Greenland, for international law, and for the right of people to decide their own future. Mette Frederiksen shows us something very important. Security is not only military. It is democracy, it is social, it is human.
Wow.
She shows that strong...
You know something? Wow. I mean, I'm sorry. All Americans need to hear this. All Americans need to hear this. And again, I said this before. I heard the New Year's Eve speech by the King of Denmark, and I had to say, like, he said things you do not hear American leaders saying, things that are so humanistic, things that speak to all human beings. And I'm not just talking about being phony and saying, this is a message for all human beings. No, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about subtle things that resonate deeply in all human beings, ideas, concepts, you know. This is something we need to learn from. We have the most atrocious fucking administration that doesn't speak to human instincts, you know, really. And leaders are supposed to be leaders of countries with people, and people are humans, you know. And right now, I just don't see that type of leadership. They can't even articulate what is being articulated here, even by this woman. What's her name? I don't even know her name. I'm sorry. They said it. I'm terrible with names, but the way she is speaking, man, when was the last time you heard an American speak like this? An American leader, you know. She's not the leader. Obviously, she's the one interviewing her, but just in general, this is a common thread, you know. This is a common thing you hear out of certain governments, and something you rarely hear out of our government, you know.
And for the right of people to decide their own future. Mette Frederiksen shows us something very important. Security is not only military. It is democracy, it is social, it is human. She shows that strong leadership and compassionate leadership are not opposites. They belong together.
Wow. Strong leadership is also compassionate leadership. Hold on, what did they say?
It is human. She shows that strong leadership and compassionate leadership are not opposites. They belong together. She's one of Europe's most influential leaders, and she has done something immensely important: normalizing women in power.
Facts.
Showing that women lead nations, women carry responsibility, women make the hardest decisions when the times are tough. In a time of noise, she brings direction. In a time of uncertainty, she brings clarity. And that is why it is such an honor to present the WPL Trailblazer Awards 2026 to Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen.
Yeah, well, you know.
Congratulations. Thank you. Now the award trophy should be brought out. Okay, there it is. Could I just get some?
Thank you so much. During the elections we just had in
All right, I'm going to stop it right here. But it was interesting, the conversation they had about Ukraine, and I could see. I take those comments that she was making. Of course, I don't know, but I took them to be kind of a slight at Trump. You know, this advice about what makes a democracy strong. You know, the cohesion that Denmark has, right, and the index. How many Danes and how many people would stand up and fight for Denmark versus maybe some other countries when they examine the pride that people have, right? Now, I took it as a slight to Trump, you know, to be honest. And not maybe she didn't mean it that way, but I understand what she's saying. I could see it if she was. I could see that as being a slight to Trump because the United States, we don't have cohesion. We have the exact opposite. We have a government that fucking hates its own citizens. That's what we have. That's not anywhere close to cohesion. When you're out, there's nowhere close. You're literally fucking attacking your own democracy. Like, and then bowing at the feet of authoritarians and autocrats. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, man. Anyway, man. Big up to Denmark. And, you know, I also, when I moved to Denmark, some like, what is it? I don't know. What was it? First in 2000, I was here in 2000. No, I was here in 2000. Was back in the U.S. in 2003. Came back here in 2007, right? And have been here since 2007. When I first came to Denmark, you know, I didn't have the exact same view that I have now. It takes time to kind of understand what's going on in Denmark and how people perceive things. Different groups of people perceive things. And Danes are also can be different depending on what region. So they have some different ideas about how things are going on. They have different rivalries and things like that among each other, right? But I got to tell you, yeah, just growing a little bit, because 20 years you get a chance to grow, right? I've actually found out what is really special about Denmark, and I found out what Danes really love and respect about Denmark, you know, and I see where they derive that love and appreciation from, so I can really understand Danes, the pride that they have in their country. I couldn't necessarily understand the pride when I first got here because it's a little different. Americans have a different way of assembling what pride is, you know. But now Trump has totally walked all over that sense of American pride. I mean, it's almost not even fucking there anymore. Anything that made the U.S. great, that made Americans proud of, Trump has walked it through the dirt. And now he's cowering at autocrats' feet. It's just shameful, man. And us Americans, we have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, why is it this way before things get better? And I think what Mette Frederiksen said is a lesson if you want to take it. But you don't have to listen. You don't have to listen at all. No. Nobody's forcing you. Nobody got a big gun making you do anything. It's all voluntary. So in any case, let's get back to some other news. Wow, there's some remarkable things coming out of Trump's visit. You know, it's really crazy. People are just like outright being like, God damn, Trump is fucking cowering to Xi. And that's all I keep seeing in the news cycle. It's like Trump lands in Beijing, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Let's start there. Trump landed in Beijing. I wonder how it's going. Wonder how it's going to go. Let's see here. 2 seconds. Let me cue it up. this video real quick. Hope everybody's doing well today. I came in, this is an impromptu. I decided to come in a little early today. Then I will get another one at the normal scheduled time, another live. But wow, I'm really having a good day. I was working with a little bit of music for a minute, working on my live performance, putting some tracks together for just the live versions, audios for my performances and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to like getting out and start, doing some performances here in Copenhagen, but also in the Scandinavia and in Europe. And so if you're in Europe somewhere and you need somebody to bring a couple of artists to come and entertain people for the evening, the whole night, have some live music and then bring a DJ with me, but have both of that rocking the whole night, you let me know, because I'm going to be doing a show and I'm bringing a couple people along with me that are talented also in their own right. So, if you're in the EU, hit me up. You see the Discord link. Just hit me up, send me a message, let me know what it's about. And and I'm all with it. So let's see here.
On both countries, they have a
Let's
vested interest.
Let's start at the beginning.
Beijing and Washington in resolving that one, because in time it will impact on both their economies and indeed on the global economy. I'm just going to step out of shot, Jane, because we can see the arrival down the steps of the principal.
I see your message, 6.
250 feet away, but yeah, that's Donald Trump being welcomed onto the red carpet through the gauntlet of Beijing students waving Chinese and the stars and stripes of the United States, welcomed at the foot of the steps by the vice president of China. Also,
wow, so she didn't meet Trump. Trump met Putin though, but she didn't meet Trump. That's interesting. That is very, Trump didn't send JD Vance to meet Putin. Nope, that's not how it goes for Putin, boy. The president better get his ass out there and lick some boots. And the same thing. Notice how she has made Trump just keep coming to keep coming to him. What is this? What's up to this? Why did they all drag their ass over there? What is this about? Like, no leverage whatsoever. No leverage whatsoever. Not enough leverage to get Xi to fly to the U.S. They all had to drag their asses out there. And who? Just to make sure people see who. This is who. The cast of crazies. The ones that actually people met her, I think she even warned about it. This Silicon Valley, AI, social media bot shit that's buying elections, right? These fools, Elon Musk, he went over there, Hegseth, I don't know how many, there's like more. I mean, this is embarrassing. Marco Rubio, Jameson Greer, Jensen Huang, right? That's an interesting name, Jensen. I didn't know that. Okay. Pete Hegseth and Elon Musk. Elon Musk had to cower. He's the richest man on earth, cowering to Xi. That is so funny. That shows you money can't buy you everything. That's crazy, right? That shows you money cannot buy everything. That's just wow. That's remarkable. Good. I'm glad money can't buy everything. You need some integrity too. You need to be brought down to your knees. You need to be brought down off your podium a little bit.
So the ambassador to Beijing, David
oh my God.
Perdue, alongside that Vice President Han Zheng.
Time to roast
it is
them.
Quite the spectacle that the military have been enlisted to play a welcome march, we are told, not the
roast them all.
Chinese national anthem, not the United States national anthem, but it's all very cordial at Beijing.
Listen to the damn. You know something? That is another point they're making. This is supposed to be the United States actual music when the president comes off the fucking plane. Listen to this. Wow.
The Vice President of China, also the ambassador to Beijing, David Perdue, alongside that Vice President Han Zheng. It is quite the spectacle that the military have been enlisted to play a welcome march, we are told, not the Chinese national anthem, not the United States national anthem, but it's all very cordial at Beijing International Airport as we watch Donald Trump make his evening arrival. It's just after 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. in the
That's
evening.
very interesting.
So, which is why he's arriving in
I guess what they're saying is this is not the president of the United States, right? This is not a formal meeting. I don't know what the fuck. That's crazy.
Out of press, I can tell you here, Jane, the Chinese very interested in events as they will unfold over the next couple of days. So much riding on this for them, of course. I'm looking around at a Chinese press pack of around 100 Western journalists here too. And Donald Trump will make his way towards the beast. That's his destination at the end of that red carpet as he walks alongside the Chinese Vice President Han Zheng. And he'll enter the beast, the presidential limousine, in a convoy of something like 40 vehicles, make his way to central Beijing. And after overnighting, then the real business of this visit will begin. Let's just listen to the welcome here on the tarmac at Beijing.
Yeah, I don't know what they're singing, but it's interesting. I mean, who knows? I don't speak Chinese. I don't even know what language that is in Chinese. There's like 3 different languages, spoken languages. Is that Mandarin? Is that, I don't know. But in any case, I'm not an expert on China. I do like some of the history though, and some, I'm aware of some of those things, but not some of the cultural dynamics fully. But let me see here. It says greeting. Well, let me just get to the hot shit. Okay. Apparently something weird happened.
All right,
and this is Adam Mockler about to explain it. Let's see here.
We have no time to waste, so let's jump right in. The United States is in trouble, and Pete Hegseth, our Secretary of Defense, knows that we are in deep trouble. There are reports from the CSIS that in our Iran war, we have used up 1/3 to 1/2 of the United States precision weapon stockpiles or interceptor missile stockpiles. We have depleted our military stockpiles so much so that China understands it is now gaining an edge, not only militarily, but in multiple other fields. We just got a new Washington Post article that is titled, "China Gains a Major Edge on the United States Amidst the Iran War, Intelligence Report Finds." This is not anti-American propaganda, as Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump would call it. This is an intelligence report coming from Donald Trump's own administration that Pete Hegseth has certainly read and that Pete Hegseth was certainly internalizing as they were heading to China. Pete Hegseth is not very bright, but he understands when they're in trouble, and right now they're in trouble. So there is a viral clip floating around the internet that I want to show you of Pete Hegseth shaking hands with Xi Jinping. In this video, Pete Hegseth is kind of awkward in his mannerisms. It's like he's trying to play tough guy. He knows the cameras are on. He's trying to stay stone cold, like he knows what Xi Jinping is up to. He's not falling for the ruse, right? And we now know that the reason why Pete Hegseth is so stone cold in this video is because China is gaining a major edge on the United States. A confidential assessment, not made by some liberals, but a confidential assessment circulating among Donald Trump's administration from his own intelligence agencies shows a shift in several key areas that we'll get into in just one moment. This is all rather important at a time when the United States is depleting our own stockpiles, ruining our own standing on the global stage. I pointed out in my last video that Napoleon has a quote, "Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake." And Xi Jinping is very likely carrying that quote in his mind as he thinks about the Iran war.
Yeah,
the Iran
definitely.
war, yes, does hurt China for oil reasons, but they get more of a return watching Donald Trump flail on the global stage, and every single missile that we use up and waste on this failing war will then in turn be one less missile that China has to worry about if they begin to invade Taiwan or want freedom of action in any military sense. It's also worth pointing out, as I play the first version of this clip of Xi Jinping shaking hands, that Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump are asking for a $1.5 trillion military budget. They are asking for a 60% increase in our military budget. I want to show you very quickly on screen Pete Hegseth standing there trying to stay stone cold and trying to act tough as Xi Jinping comes up, because Pete Hegseth knows the reality of the game right now, but he just doesn't know what to do about it. The United States is asking for a 60% increase in our military budget so we can replace the missiles that have gone towards our failing war with Iran. Lord have mercy. And by the way, if you appreciate these videos, make sure you drop a like.
Yo,
make sure you subscribe.
Look at this. This is real time. This is the exact same time. So Scott Bessent is putting his hand out to Xi, right? And then to the left of the picture, this is Scott Bessent, same timing. Scott Bessent is trying to shake Xi's hand. And then to the left of Bessent, look at this. He's just looking down at the fucking ground like in shame, utter shame. And yes, he deserves it because he signed up for the job. People said he wasn't qualified, and look at this. It's almost like looking at a man. It's almost like she knows it, pulled his card. It's like she knows he ain't shit, you know? And he's just like, it looks like she told him, look, motherfucker, I know you ain't shit. And if you start talking, I'm going to put these videos out of you with these little kids. So if you even act like you got some heat, motherfucker, you better look down at the ground. Don't look at me in my eyes, boy. He told him, don't you ever look at me in my eyes. I'll beat your ass, boy. And look at Pete Hegseth. It's like, damn, did she get to him before he even met with all the other people? What the fuck is going on here? All right, let's play it.
Subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed. I want you to pay attention to Pete Hegseth. You see Scott Bessent, Marco Rubio shaking hands with Xi Jinping. He goes from Marco over to Scott Bessent. Pete Hegseth acting kind of awkward. Watch this. Trying to act stone cold. We then have Stephen Miller coming up next. I mean, this is just
Oh, this dude, Stephen Miller, looks exactly like the guy. When was it? This was like, let me see. Let me get his face, a close up of his ass. He's man, I can't stand him, man. I got to tell you, I can't stand him. But he looks exactly like Count Dracula in those old black and white films. Some of the first ones. I don't know if you remember those. He looks like fucking Count Dracula, man. Like, seriously. I'm talking about the old one where they used to be like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, used to walk around in the black and white fucking films like that and shit, man. This dude is fucking sick, man. Anyway, man. All right, let me stop. Let's go. God damn, this is just awkward. This is awkward, man. I don't know what to say. Like, you could have hired anybody. Well, listen, this is what I keep trying to tell people. Don't play second seat to these people. You're paying them to do a job. They work for you, American people, and this is the best they got. It reminds me of something. You don't need any type of qualification to do any of this fucking job. In reality, look, and if you want to know why the Supreme Court is so bonkers, you don't listen. Do you know that according to the Constitution, a 1-year-old fucking child can be a Supreme Court justice? Do you know that? Do you know, according to the Constitution, you don't even need to be an American citizen to be a Supreme Court judge? Do you know that? Do you know that? To be a Supreme Court judge, you can have less qualifications than a congressman. Not that you need many. You don't need it. You don't need to be a fucking lawyer to be a congressman. Nothing. But you do need to be an American citizen. And I think you do need to be at least 18 years old. A Supreme Court judge, you could be 1 fucking years old. I'm bullshitting you not. You know, so when you see some of these incompetent other people, it just kind of goes to show you we don't have any. We got a big ass government, big billions of dollars they're getting, and the qualifications are nothing. These people don't have to have nothing, man. The average American is just as good with no high school diploma. I'm serious. None. If you get an A+ student from high school, they will do a better job than Pete Hegseth, Stephen Miller, like all of them. I'm serious. I'm not bullshitting you. They could just say fuck everything else. I'm going to work for the president after high school, and you would get better results if they got A+. I'm serious. That's my view of it. That's my view. In any case, let's continue.
We have another angle right here. And look at the MAGA accounts fell for it. This account named Eric Doherty is like a MAGA stooge online. He said, just now, one by one, President Xi shakes hands. Secretary of War Hegseth is stone cold. Dude, he's probably stone cold because he had too much to drink on the way over. He's probably stone cold because he has no clue what to do about the impending military catastrophe. He's probably stone cold because the failing Iran war is on the top of his mind.
He's fucking stone drunk. He is fucking stone drunk. That's what's on Hegseth's mind right
Donald
there.
Trump's thinking about the ballroom. Marco Rubio's thinking about how he can swipe J.D. Vance's spot in the next election cycle. And Stephen Miller is thinking about how much he hates brown people. None of these people are actually thinking strategically about our country, and we know this for a fact. Let's watch this clip from another.
Adam Mockler is killing it. He is killing it. God damn. But it's all facts. It's all facts, man. Shit. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Young people, stop paying these motherfuckers, man. Look, they let people go from high school to professional basketball now. Fuck it. Just let high school students go from that to the White House. Fuck it. We would do much better. Okay. Adam Mockler for president. Okay. At this point, I mean, he's got probably more qualifications at this point in civics than fucking Hegseth, goddamn, Miller, whatever the fuck his name is. I hate him. I can't even remember his name. Stephen Miller. Yeah. And the rest of them. Trump. What the fuck, man? J.D. Vance. God damn.
Other angle. And then in one moment, we'll actually read the intelligence report. Pete Hegseth standing there, quite awkwardly.
Okay. Oh, come on.
Xi Jinping walks up, shakes everyone's hand, and as this is happening,
you know what
we
he
have
looks
intelligence reports showing that the United States is falling behind. A confidential U.S. intelligence analysis details how
Wait, I'm sorry. Let me just pull this back. If I want to look at the confidence level and the body language, let me just see what I can do here. Can I flip this around? All right, let me see. Is this possible? The body language. Let me just peep this. Let me just look at the body language of Xi first while he shakes each person's hand.
J.D. Vance's spot in the next election cycle, and Stephen Miller is thinking about how much he hates brown people. None of these people are actually thinking strategically about our country, and we know this for a fact. Let's watch this clip from another angle. And then in one moment, we'll actually read the intelligence report.
Look at Trump.
Pete Hegseth
Goddamn
standing
Trump.
there.
Look at him.
Quite awkwardly.
You see that? Look at Trump, man. He's just following him around. Look at this. Trump looks so fucking weak. I mean, it's obvious the person in charge is Xi from the body language. Now, let me make it a little smaller. Let me see here. Let me just try to catch a little bit more of them all in one screen pic. I don't want to make it too small because I want to try to catch everybody. But let's see.
We'll actually read the intelligence report. Pete Hegseth standing there, quite awkwardly. Xi Jinping walks up. Pete Hegseth standing there, quite awkwardly.
Look at that handshake.
Xi Jinping walks.
Hold on. Let me just see something here. I like to see those little small things. Let me just slow that down a little bit.
And then in one moment, we'll actually read the intelligence report. Pete Hegseth standing there, quite awkwardly. Xi Jinping walks up, shakes everyone's hand, and as
Yo, this looks like this. What this looks a lot to me like is a businessman buying a company. It looks like she is buying them. That's what it looks like to me. They look like subordinates to she. And look at Trump. Look at Trump. He's just right behind them. Like he looks like she's fucking assistant. You know, I'm just like, damn, this is just weird, man. This is fucking weird. I don't know. I don't know what to make out of this shit, yo. To be honest, like this looks very, very weird. It looks very weird. What I'm imagining, because I got an imagination, you know, somewhat of an imagination. I can imagine some things, and it looks to me like, yeah, like somebody's being bought here. Yeah, that's what I could imagine. Like they know that they're selling something out, but they have no choice. So they look like subordinates, and Trump looks like you better make him happy. You better make him happy. Like, look at this. God damn. You better do it. My ass is on the line. Don't let those pictures and videos come out about me. And the rest of them are like, God damn, we have to, when is this over, man? Do we really have to give up Taiwan? Do we have to give up so much of the booty for this motherfucker? And yeah, the answer is yes. You signed up for it. So you got to give it all up. This is like a Putin, Xi, Netanyahu tag team with Iran just like being the fucking, police on the outside, like, woo, 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 coming in and beating people up every once in a while and shit. Break it up. No prostitution here. This shit is weird. Whew. Anyway, let me see here. Yeah.
This is
Never thought I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day, man. This is yeah, this is sad, man. If you're in the military and you're or you're ex-military, come on up. The chat is open. I want to hear your feelings. Let me get the the panel link up. Let's see here. Yeah, hop up and let me know your views about this. Is this looking good for the U.S. or is this just pathetic, man? God damn. Now, look, before Trump, I would fight for my country. No question. Not now. No. Not now. Once they threatened Canada, I was done with that, motherfucker. They didn't even need to go to Greenland. Start talking shit about Canada, man. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, I can't do it. No. Canada, Canadians, Mexicans too, man, by the way. Mexicans too. Americans. Why are we harassing each other? What's up with that? That shit's got to stop. That has to become a thing of the past. The United States has to stop fucking harassing other American countries. Like, we have to have better relations. We got to learn how to respect people, man. And these people deserve it because they're not our enemies. Leave them the fuck alone. Stop fucking with them. Negotiate. Okay? Give them some options. Okay? Like, god damn, because this is what you get. Look, we going around harassing our neighbors, and this motherfucker is like, totally capitulated to Xi. Everybody in the audience. And everyone that came with Trump. Look, total capitulation. Even Keg Breath. And he knows it. What's he going to do? What you going to do, Keg Breath? Go back to the United States and play tough? She knows who the boss is. Yeah, okay. We'll see. Sure.
Happening.
You didn't say that to his face, though, did you? Nope.
You have intelligence reports.
This is what you got to his face. To his face, this is what you got. You got Trump there. You better shake his hand. And Pete Hegseth there. Nothing. Not a word. Nothing. None of that tough guy talk. Nothing about Asians. Nothing about squinted eyes and shit coming from his ass. Because you know, Keg Breath says things like that. You see what I'm saying? Makes fun of DEI. None of that shit. And think about this advantage. She knows that Hegseth does not like Asian Americans. He knows that. He knows he's a bigot. He knows he's a bigot. Yeah, he does. Because that's the type of guy Hegseth has portrayed himself to be. Right? And, yeah. So I think this is a bad deal right here. This is a bad deal. And look at this. Then you got the president. He's in the same situation too. Went out there and, you know, made fun of diversity, equity, inclusion. Made total fun of it. And now look at you. Now look at you. Now look at this. Cowering. And what is he going to say? What are they going to say? What's the excuse? Yeah, well, the Chinaman is in his own country. He's where he belongs, in Asia. Yeah. They're about to sell out Taiwan too. Hasn't it ever occurred to you that all Asians don't get along? They don't all agree on everything, just like Americans? God damn. Like, what's wrong with these people? They haven't figured it out. So instead, they're just going to capitulate and shit, you know? And yeah, this is just, yeah. Let me play some more.
Shakes everyone's hand. And as this is happening, we have intelligence reports showing that the United States is falling behind. A confidential U.S. intelligence analysis details how China is exploiting the war in Iran, this is important, to maximize its advantage over the United States across military, economic, and diplomatic and other fields, said two U.S. officials who have read this report. The assessment, the officials said, was produced this week for the airmen of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, and has raised alarm within the Pentagon about the high-stakes geopolitical costs of Washington's standoff with Tehran. Produced by the Joint Staff's Intelligence Directorate, the report uses what's known as a DIME framework to assess China's response to the Iran conflict: diplomatic, informational, military, and economic. When talking about the findings, which had not previously been reported on, we learned that they are gaining an edge in all of those things. Oh, this article even points out the war has drained the U.S. of massive stocks of munitions that would be critical in a potential standoff with China over the fate of Taiwan. Every single missile that we use on this conflict is one less missile that China has to...
Just dumb. Trump totally fucked it all up. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it just goes to show you that logistics in conflict and in dealing with global affairs matters. Logistics is everything. Logistics is trade. Logistics is conflict. You see what I mean? If you can't sustain a conflict, you know, and you don't have freedom of movement, or you're behind on goods, or behind on materials, you know, you can't sustain a conflict. You can't necessarily win a conflict. And what they did, you got to make decisions. What they did was say, we choose a conflict with Iran where we wear out our resources, but fuck tomorrow, fuck anything else. Not like anything else is going to happen, right? And then lo and behold, a bigger issue is China. For real, a bigger issue is China. And can the United States military defend Taiwan at this time? Even if it's transactional, like Trump likes to say, that it's all transactional. If they don't give us something, we ain't going to defend them. Well, what if they say, yeah, would you be able to do it without the equipment? Yeah. Is China wasting any bombs? When was the last time you saw China waste a bomb? I'm sure they got plenty of bombs stockpiled, missiles. They haven't been wasting missiles on anybody. You see? So they likely have way more than we have right about now, because we go around using ours all the fucking time, you know? And it's one thing to use them, but to waste them, that's another thing. Joe Jack says, one less U.S. missile China got to worry about. Exactly. I mean, goddamn. I mean, but let's hope these reports are lies and maybe disinformation. You don't know. But yeah, this is coming from the Washington Post. Okay. So
in all of
you
those
take it for whatever you want.
things. Oh, this article even points out the war has drained the U.S. of massive stocks of munitions that would be critical in a potential standoff with China over the fate of Taiwan. Every single missile that we use on this conflict is one less missile that China has to worry about if they want freedom of military action in the future. This is a disaster. This is a catastrophe. And what is our Secretary of Defense, or as they say, Secretary of War, posting about? Like random informational videos. I don't even want to call it informational. Like these videos make you dumber. But random videos trying to defend the $1.5 trillion military budget. Are we joking here? We were promised from the Trump campaign that we would have no new wars, less inflation, zero inflation actually, and that the deficit would be reduced, or that Doge would cut out all of this fraud from the government. Now they're asking for a 60% increase in the military budget because
they want all the contracts for themselves. So by the time a new administration comes, they didn't milk the U.S. population for generations. You see what I mean? And yeah, man, I'm sorry, man, but this is you cannot run away from it. This is the United States of America, and this is what Americans chose. This is what they chose. And so when a people choose something, you can't run away from it. That's the problem. I would like for it to not have been what the people of the United States chose, but the people of the United States, they did choose. They chose. And sure, there's some different Americans, but, you know, they're not all the same. But the Americans who believe in this, they're the ones that got their choice this time. This is these motherfuckers' fault. Blame them. Don't blame me, because this is who supported them.
Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that?
Yeah, and that is not disconnected from this. That is actually connected to this. Okay, that's how we got to this point. Okay, these little cushy marshmallows, they won the election. Okay, and now their party rules. Okay, and Pete Hegseth is their superhero guy, and Trump is their president, the guy who says this.
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even know. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the.
Yeah. Motherfucking Americans have lost their goddamn mind. And I'm not with them on it. Okay. I'm one of the Americans that hasn't lost my goddamn mind. Okay. And for me, it's a fucking tragedy having to watch this. And I'm not even an arrogant ass American. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a reasonable one. And this is a fucking tragedy. This is a tragedy. This is shameful. This is a shame. This is a shame. Yeah. Yeah. Talk about fighting for America. Do these guys look like they in any fucking condition to fight anybody? I mean, come on. Who's in better shape? Them or me? You know, I'm just being real. I'm 6'1", 90 kilos. What's this all about? What the fuck? What is this? Who they gonna fight? How long is the fight gonna last? 3 seconds and shit? I'll run circles around these motherfuckers, man. You know, I'll terrorize them like a fucking like. And lo behold, if you get a short motherfucker that is in shape, he's really gonna terrorize their ass. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna be coming out of everywhere on their ass and shit. They're gonna run out of breath in like 2 minutes or less. Yeah, this is the reality. This is the United States of America, and it's nothing. Apparently, the only thing we could do about it is march and wait for an election, right? That's kind of fucked up. And then when we have an election, we have to clean house, everything, scorched earth, Supreme Court justices and all, to get back, just to get back on ground zero. Yeah, we're gonna see how tough Americans are. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. Yeah, this is it is just fucking amazing to watch. Yeah, what can I say? I can't say anything else. So let's move on, man. That apparently that was a loss. But Elon Musk was along with them. He was along on the journey. Yeah, Elon Musk went on this journey with some others, right? And so he has his business afoot there. You know, he wants to establish something with Xi. I guess he's dependent on Xi. You know, I guess Xi got him by the balls. Is Elon Musk looking for his escape route? Is he looking to escape from the U.S. and then go back to China? Is that what he's looking to do? Because he knows Americans are finished with him? Is that what this is about? Look at that. Why is Elon Musk on this fucking trip? You know, what's his business? I mean, don't people want to know? Don't people want to know why he's on this trip? Isn't that a fair question to ask? Like, why is Elon Musk there? He's not a fucking government employee. He's not even a is he even a cabinet member? I don't believe so. He's not. So what function does he have? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You know, this is just too weird. This is just too weird. Let me see something. Yo, Russell. Yo, listen, man. I got something for you here, Russell. Hit the Discord link. Hop on up so people can know who you are. Since you got so much to say, come on up. Come on. I'm inviting you. You know, yeah. But in a second, you know, I'm gonna think you're a punk ass if you don't hop up. So, all right, you probably are. But in any case, there's the link. Come on up, sucker, if you want some. And it's free, open every day for everybody. Come on through. You got some words to say? Let people hear your voice. Let's hear if you're an actual American. Let's hear what kind of American you are. Are you the American that is a dumbass? Sitting up here talking about Donald Trump, you are my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy. Is that who you are, Russell? Is that what Russell is all about? Russell, let's play Russell's song again. Let's go, Russell.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. What is that?
Russell,
oh, Trump,
Russell,
yeah,
Russell, Russell, Russell.
What is that? Oh, Trump,
Russell, Russell.
I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Trump, you are my daddy.
You are my daddy, Trump.
I do anything to.
Yeah, Trump is Russell's daddy. So, and Trump is probably one of these motherfuckers in this video too. That's why he's getting all pissed off and shit. Nah, sucker. Nah, sucker. Trump is your daddy. Okay, admit it.
Make you happy. What is that? Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. I do anything to make you happy.
I think this was the security for Trump on the trip to China. Look at this punk ass Russell. I'm not with phones. Oh, really? No wonder. I could have guessed you wasn't. In any case, yeah, you just with chats. You just with phones and chats, you little bitch. All right, now, in any case, this is his Russell right here. I'm your daddy. Trump is your daddy, Russell. Ha, ha, ha. Russell's scared to hop up on Discord. Russell's a little bitch. I guess that means Russell's not an American. He's just posing his one on YouTube. Okay, I got you, Russell. No problem. You're not the first. In any case, let's move on. Trump got the floor wiped with his ass in China, and that was pretty clear. Can't do anything about it now. That's just life. That's just life. That's how it's going to be for these maggots and everybody else. We're going to have to sit back and say, hey man, it's not me. I'm not that kind of American. This is the other American. Okay. I'm the other American. I'm not that one talking about Trump is my daddy. I'm not the one that hangs out with Epstein and is known to be his best friend during the time where he was doing his most horrific crimes towards children. That's not me. I wasn't hanging out with Epstein when he was fucking little kids. Okay. And this is not me saying this.
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss.
I'm not misogynistic.
They let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the
Right?
You can do anything.
That's not me. And I'm not calling Trump my daddy like these fools.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
Right. None of the above. It's not me. I'm the other American, okay? I'm not the American like Russell, okay? Now, now let's move on. Now, Elon Musk, his punk ass was over there in China. What is he up to? Is he up to some American business? He got a free ride on the American taxpayer dollar to go visit Xi to handle some private business that has nothing to do with you Americans. Nothing to do with you, Russell. It's none of your fucking business. You don't get to fucking know what Elon Musk was doing on that plane because you're a bitch. Okay? You don't even want to know. You're a sucker. Excuse my language, everybody, but I have to drive the point home. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah. Yeah, sorry, Russell. Sorry, Russell. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's sad for you. But you don't get to know what he was doing. You don't. You're not worth it. You're nobody. Okay? You're nobody. And he's everything. He's the richest man on earth. And he has more representation than you. You broke ass. Okay? Your citizenship doesn't mean a motherfucking thing. You are lower class. Elon Musk is the richest man on earth, and he gets whatever he wants from President Trump, and you don't get shit. You are undeserving. You are nobody. Now, Russell could come up and explain. I'm willing to apologize if he makes a little bit of sense, but no, I don't think so. I don't think he doesn't know how to work phones. He's just in my motherfucking chat being annoying. Now, here we go. Talk about DEI. We have Luke Beasley has some news reporting to do. So let's keep up with Luke and see what he got to say about Elon. He's dropping some dirt on Elon, So yeah.
This government here is not doing much to hold accountable or regulate or protect consumers from Elon Musk in general. I mean, he got to go and just get the keys to the government and destroy the very institutions like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that protected consumers from people, more powerful people who would rip them off, or True. Elon Musk's companies. But French authorities are trying to do just that, whether it be child abuse material that Grok was creating or political manipulation. Does that sound familiar? Listen to this reporting and then see if you think of anything, okay? French prosecutors have launched a police investigation into alleged data tampering. So again, this is in France, and fraud involving X, Elon Musk's social media platform. If we jump to this article, you have it explained this way. The billionaire is being summoned on Monday by the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office as a part of an investigation into his social network X and its AI tool Grok, which are suspected of algorithmic manipulation to interfere in the French political debate.
Okay.
In other words, you could describe it as election manipulation, right?
Yeah. So there you have it. So you got a guy coming off of a plane that's paid for by the United States taxpayers on a trip. He's not even a representative of the government. He's on a trip flying with the president of the United States. He gets he gets a chance to talk to Xi, right? To go along with whatever the fuck he's talking about, right? And at the same time, he's interfering allegedly in damn, is that my phone? He's interfering in other governments' elections. And this is what you got to talk about. Like, are you okay with this? You okay with this, Americans? You okay with this? I mean, I'm just saying, if this is you, this is who you are. If you cool with it, then you cool with it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you already have people calling Donald Trump their daddy, so you must be cool with this, right? That's what I would expect when you calling another grown man your daddy. I mean, this is embarrassing. But yes, same man in the plane with Trump is Trump's guest in the plane is allegedly harassing other governments with his products.
If AI tool Grok. explained this way. The billionaire is being summoned on Monday by the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office as a part of an investigation into his social network X and its AI tool Grok, which are suspected of algorithmic manipulation to interfere in the French political debate. In other words, you could describe it as election manipulation, right? If you're trying to sway through algorithmic manipulation, fraud, weird usage of data, the political discourse, why would you sway the political discourse other than to sway the elections? In France, though. So nothing to worry about here. Right? The billionaire owner of the social network X has been summoned on Monday for a voluntary interview at the Paris prosecutor's office. He's saying this is an attack on free speech and blah, 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 blah. But with some of the abusive material on a separate matter, and we'll get back to this election situation, but there's plenty of reason to absolutely investigate not just X, but platforms like X and Grok and these AI. We have to put some constraints. It's not about free speech, but like whenever there's child abuse material, we all agree that needs to be removed. And there has not been internal accountability enough within the company. And so that means that authorities will have to get involved. Look at this reporting, then we'll get back to the algorithmic manipulation question.
Ines, let's talk about what exactly French investigators were looking for.
Yeah, Chris. So the Paris prosecutor's office confirming in a statement that they did raid the Paris offices of X earlier today. We understand that it was their cybercrime unit that carried out the search, but Europol, the European Union's police agency, was also involved. Now, this was all part of an investigation that was first.
And this is reporting on an earlier raid of X offices in Paris for a different investigation, but related.
Opened back in January of last year over concerns that X's algorithms are biased. The
quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button if you're involved in, but now you have this new fold, which is the
check 1 2.
Are we giving enough thought to how when a billionaire controls a platform, one billionaire controls a platform, and that billionaire is very public with their political views, and then you have compelling evidence that they manipulate that platform that might be the most politically influential platform in the United States. I don't know about France, but in the United States.
Okay.
Hi there.
Yeah.
Would you like
somebody's in the chat talk about is Luke is Luke AI? Nah, I doubt that very seriously. No. To say, I don't know any other way to say it. No, I don't think it's AI at all. Yeah, but hey, in any case, I'm here for the content. I'm here for the contents and the messaging. I want to hear what he has to say. So, yeah, but of course, this is news. This is relevant. Again, this guy has so many contracts. American citizens are basically like his slave, personal slave. You pay taxes that go basically to him. That's what's going on here. And yeah, he will say he provides a service and la la la. Yeah, but this is more than a service. This is like out of every dollar you make, he gets a cut. That's not a service. You see what I mean? That's way deeper than a service he's providing. You may as well he may as well be sucking your blood like a leech. You know what I'm saying? I mean, really. Now, because what service do you get from fucking Elon Musk? How has he improved your life? Clean water? No. Is he bringing the electricity bill down? No. Gas prices going down? No. Food getting better on the shelves? Cheaper? No. I mean, what the fuck service is he providing you? What's the service? I mean, do you know anything about the service he provides? What is it? Something happening in space? Some securities is going on that you don't know nothing about, huh? It's all military. Yeah, we got it. And they got all that under control, huh? But you don't need to know what it is. None of your business. None of your business. You just trust him. Just give him your money. You know what I'm saying? And you just trust him. I mean, no, I'm telling you. People, Western countries have called the United States a threat to Western democracies, yo. Straight up. So, yeah, you can just think of it as nothing going on with your life and Elon Musk, or you could think of it as the relationship he has going on with American citizens. Nobody wants a relationship with him like that. They scared. You could think of it that way too. And they're sitting back scratching their head like, damn, Americans just like this? Is this what they like doing? Is this what their investments like? They like doing this shit? Like, damn, like having a subservient relationship with people in their country? Is that what American citizenship means? Being subservient? Like, okay.
That they might be doing it to help their political ends, and that could have a huge consequence when, as MAGA puts it, these are now our public squares. Now, legally, that's a different question if they're actually our public squares and when it comes to the First Amendment. But in the way that people interact and have their political discussions, platforms like X become a sort of public square. And so Elon Musk, who said he bought X to restore free speech to it, has been demonstrated over and over again to have a lot of disdain, really, for free and open speech and debate whenever it's harmful to him or the outcomes aren't going the way that he wants. And then people get, as you look at French investigators examining political that has impact on elections, algorithmic manipulation, fraud, data breach, as you look at that, you start thinking about here, don't you? X is central. I mean, you might not use it, but like the number of politically minded people who use X is ginormous. I think it's often ranked as one of the number one or the number one politics apps. And how he bought before the 2024 election this platform. And this is just about examining the facts and then thinking, how do we be more cognizant of this in the future, not to perpetuate any sort of conspiracy, but just to examine the facts. Remember that Elon Musk posted this when he was angry at Trump. He said, without me, Trump would have lost the election. Without me, Trump would have lost the election. What does he mean by that? What the hell? Democrats would control the House and the Republicans would be 51-49 in the Senate. So then I take you back to this point again. Okay? Hold on that point. I think you want to see this before I make the point. Do you remember when Don Jr. said the same thing?
I mean, you said that you trust Elon's commitment here. You guys are also in SpaceX, I believe, and Neuralink as well. So how did those deals come together?
Well, we got to know throughout the campaign process, and we're totally outside of government now, but we maintained that relationship. Obviously, one of the great minds of civilization, certainly of the last century, to see what he's doing, to see the commitment that he's had toward free speech, what they were able to do with X.
CNBC's doing Elon dirty.
Really changed, I think, the outcome of election in many ways, because people finally actually got a chance to see the alternate.
Oh, wait, I totally talked over the important part here.
Free speech, what they were able to do with X really changed, I think, the outcome of election in many ways, because people finally actually got a chance to see the alternate viewpoint. I mean, I saw this. I was one of the early people calling out Twitter 1.0, let's call it, back in 16 and 17. And they're like, well, how do you know it's manipulating the algorithm? I'm like, well, because yesterday I was getting 5,000 retweets a post. Today I got 5, like a single-digit 5.
So Don Jr. says that he believes Elon Musk probably swayed the election results because he noticed that he went from he would get 5,000 retweets and then sometimes 5, and that Don Jr. was a early warrior to calling out the Twitter 1.0 unfairness and shadow banning. And by
here, listen, I see, what is it? Russell says, let me see. Russell asked the question. He said, did Denmark just buy a shitload of American weapons, right? And Denmark did in 2025 and 26, right? But I don't know if you think that replaces what they said about the U.S., right? Russell, did you know what Denmark said about the United States of America? All Americans should know this. Okay? So, here, the relationship between Denmark and the U.S. has hit a bizarre and historically tense patch. While they haven't made a blanket statement that the U.S. as a whole is a threat to all Western societies, Denmark has officially labeled U.S. foreign policy under the current administration a direct threat to Danish national security. So if you're proud of that, then, hey, you got nothing to worry about if you're proud of that.
And
also, no need to be concerned about your relationship with Denmark. If you're happy with treating NATO allies that way and having that view, NATO allies having that view about you, it's not a problem. All Americans aren't the same. Russell, all Americans are not the same. We all don't come from the same places. I come from Washington, D.C. So, that's part of the East Coast, but it's the capital. We're pretty different from a lot of people. We have a lot of similarities, but we have our own way of being American too. So we may not share the same values as all Americans. But in my book, that should be seen as a problem. But if you care about your allies. But in some other Americans' book, they think you should invade Greenland. It's that simple. And they laugh about it, even though they see other militaries doing all kinds of shit, taking the threat serious. And then a lot of American citizens, unlike me, say, ha, they were just joking. What's the problem? Okay, you're going to find out what the problem is. No rush, though. Take your time.
He means this activism.
Okay, so let's see here. Let me see. I was just peeping in the chat, but that is part of the relationship between Denmark and the U.S. right now. And yeah, I'm one of the Americans that says, yo, Trump has fucked that all up. I'm one of the Americans that said, this is who fucked it up. Listen, they got a song.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
Put it down.
Oh, Trump, yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump,
you are my daddy.
You are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh,
Russell, is Donald Trump your daddy? Is Donald Trump your daddy? Because he's not my daddy. He's not my daddy at all. I don't like that. No. I disagree with that. But do you agree? Is Donald Trump your daddy? Because you asked some weird, you got some kind of way of making it seem like whatever Trump does is just fine. When, I'm sorry, far too many other people have said the opposite. And you've seen how those people react. And you've seen and heard what those people say. And if you don't give a shit about those people, then hey, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Not trying to change everybody's mind. Here, let's listen again. This is Pete Hegseth's national anthem. This is his sweetheart song for Trump.
you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy.
Yeah.
I do anything to make you happy.
Put it down, Donald Trump. You are my daddy. Yeah, I'll do anything to make you happy. What's your name? My name is Russell. I come from Brussels and Duzzle. I run for Trump and that's a motherfucking hustle. Yeah, that's who's running the house right now. Fucking idiots. All right. In any case, let's back to the serious news.
Of how he was being suppressed with videos like this.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Just watching my algorithms get crushed. I guess I did something to piss off the Instagram gods, so...
Look, he looks like Mr. Head from that. What's that goddamn shit in Living Color? This is Mr. Head, y'all. This is Mr. This is Mr. Head too. Different. He looks a little different this time. Just a head with two hands like this sticking up out of it, and his legs sticking up out under. Hello, my name is Mr. Hud. Go get him, Head. Throw his ass like a football and shit. My name is Mr. Head. Hello, everybody. I'm a jackass high on cocaine.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Just watching my algorithms get crushed. I guess
Is that all you watching?
I did something to piss off the Instagram gods, so hopefully you're seeing this stuff.
His nose is totally stopped up. Can you hear him? Hello, guys. He can't even breathe out of that nose. I know what he's been doing with that nose. Trust me, I know. Because in urban cities, people sell a lot of motherfucking cocaine. Okay. And, you get to see people and what they sound like when they're addicted to cocaine and snort too much fucking cocaine. That's one of those snorter noses. Okay. That's what it looks like to me.
He got to the bottom.
Let's listen to that voice. It's unique. It's a unique voice. He probably going to smoke some cigarettes right after, too.
Of how he was being suppressed with videos like this.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well.
There's no air going through that nose. Is he trying to pretend like he's sick or something? Is that what it is? Okay.
Just watching my algorithms get crushed. I guess I did something to piss off the Instagram gods, so hopefully you're seeing this stuff anyway. We'll do what we can.
I wonder if he has the Hunter virus. The Hunter virus. Is that what it's called? I wonder if he's having respiratory problems.
Talk to you soon.
My name is Mr. Head. Hello. Can you throw the lines out? My name is Mr. Head. Put the lines on the table, goddammit. I'm ready. What the fuck?
It's really just absolutely mind-blowing.
I'm sorry, yo. I'm sorry. This dude, man. What the hell?
Anyone had lost interest in posts such as that. So with that in mind, Don Jr. would say his argument is that Elon helped to sway the election because he actually freed things up and freed us. Previously, we were censored, and then now things were free. And in a free society, everyone actually voted for Trump. And again, when I discuss this, it's to examine two things. The facts of it's just not healthy for our political discourse when you have.
So you heard just today in this live, you heard Meta Fredrickson talk about internet algorithm interference in elections, a threat to democracy. Right? If they don't create laws to stamp it out, talking about trolling, right? This kind of thing. It's a lot to it. Obviously, disinformation, how it spreads online, right? And also disinformation targeting elections, right? Now you're hearing in the same sequence about Elon Musk having his Paris offices raided, or is it Paris? Right? Offices raided. Right, because of X, and the same thing, right? Interfering with elections, right? And so there's a theme here. There's a theme here that's surrounding Trump too. You see what I mean? Elon Musk has also been charged with some fraud in elections in the 2024 election. Yeah, he hasn't been criminally charged, but he's been, I guess, accused by one of the states, right? That went on. I don't know if it's a civil accusation, and I don't know how much of a penalty goes along with that civil accusation. I believe it's civil, though. Sometimes states they don't only do criminal, right? And I don't think it was much of a punishment they gave him, but they did make the point of saying he committed fraud during the elections. So there's a theme emerging with Trump, fraud, Elon Musk, fraud, and the idea that the United States has become a threat to certain countries, certain allies, But the main thing is, like, I'm an American citizen. So I'm very, very, although I live in Denmark and I stand with Danes on this matter, like 100%, no question about it. Denmark is a country that we have to stand with, and because it's a country that makes sense. You see what I mean? And it's a country, as Americans, we know to be a good country, right? And Danes stand behind us in Denmark. The Americans that live in Denmark, Danes stand behind us in many ways, So the last thing we could do is abandon Danes with this kind of matter. Like, hell fucking no. That's the exact opposite that would ever happen. But, I'm concerned about American citizens. Because we have been targeted by these things. You see what I mean? Our people in the United States, we have lost that battle. European nations, they saw this problem in advance, and they began to do things. They maybe haven't done enough, but they started addressing it before the U.S. did. We were way too late, and we got sunk into it. And now the algorithm controls a lot of Americans' minds, And it's really sad. Formal education is not a big thing in the United States of America, not per person, right? So structured thinking, how to do real analysis, things like this, research. I'm sorry, but, we're suffering from that. Formal education is big in Europe. Every European pretty much has an education, a formal one. And, and probably more extensive than the average American. Not that we're lacking completely, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of the average person, this is where it's different. You know, the average person, how wide that formal education really spreads. How many people does it really cover? You see what I mean? And you can tell by how people behave, you know, that it's not covering everybody in the United States of America. There's some serious blind gaps in the United States of America when it comes to education. And you see it play out in the electoral cycle. Like, seriously.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy. Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make
this
you
is what's passing as grown men. This is what's passing as intelligent. This is what's leading the country. These are the people that think Trump is great. You're my daddy, man. Everything you do is wonderful. I like what you're doing, Mr. Trump. This is them right here. Meet them. Here we go. And then the other ones that you're going to meet that are halfway in shape, they don't want women to vote. I mean, this is what's going on in the U.S. And yes, the algorithm has fooled these people. They always quote the fucking Constitution and never read the motherfucking Constitution themselves. They can always be proven wrong when you go to the Constitution because they just rely on what someone fucking told them instead of actually reading the goddamn Constitution, because a lot of these people are illiterate too, man. Seriously. A lot of them. That's why they're so stuck on the internet, because they have to hear somebody tell them something. If you put a book in front of them, they wouldn't fucking read it. And the Constitution is a book. Unless you're listening to the audio version. I mean, what the and that's even a book. Okay.
Of one very ideologically slanted billionaire owning a platform that's highly influential in our politics. That's just not good.
Math is not American. math. They don't see the irrational shit that they are in. They don't see the danger mathematically, what they have done to themselves. They just can't fucking count. Okay? They don't understand danger when they see it, because they are irrational, because formal education is not a big thing in the United States. It's a privilege, y'all. It's a fucking privilege. And this is what you get when education is a privilege. This is what you get.
Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
I mean,
oh, Trump, you are my daddy.
We have black versions of this too, just in case you're wondering. We got plenty of black motherfuckers that can act just a fool too, with no formal education. You know what I mean? But there are less of them. That's all I'm saying. Mathematically speaking, they're less. They have less of an effect on the vote, on the turnout. I mean, these ones is really where it's at, you know, and Trump loves them, you know. It's terrible.
Number two, to point out hypocrisy.
Elon Musk loves them, loves a sucker. He loves a sucker, Elon Musk. Putin loves a sucker.
See that if the same series of events happened before the 2020 election, you would have had even more screaming from MAGA about the election being stolen, right? They would use the same facts that happened in 2024 if the roles were reversed, if the parties were switched, to say the election was stolen. I am not perpetuating some broader conspiracy that invalidates the actual voting. People went and voted, enough votes, Trump got it, and then he won. But there is an influence. Of course, there's an impact to a billionaire not that long before a very consequential election buying a whole platform, then later saying, without me, that candidate wouldn't have won the election. I don't know if he means specifically what he was doing with X. Was he doing the same stuff on X that French authorities are accusing him of doing with the algorithm in France? Very justifiable question, given the news about this investigation.
All right, so you got the election interference, and these are the big dogs. These are the ones that own America. You know, they own American citizens. American citizens, these people are all lobbying for American citizen money out of their pockets, out of their checks that they get every week, you know. But is there any level of responsibility there? What American citizen is being protected? You see, and it's just a goddamn shame that we don't have people that are even smart enough to want protection from these mass corporations. You know, the average American is so tiny is so tiny compared to these corporations, and they're not even smart enough to vote for people that will guarantee them protections, guarantee them that some of these powerful corporations have to act in a decent manner while they are, United States corporations, while they're serving the American people. But here's another example.
Shooting at Florida State University is suing OpenAI. That's the parent company of ChatGPT. And the lawsuit alleges that ChatGPT enabled and provided advice for carrying out the attack that ultimately left 2 people dead.
Facts.
If Phoenix Eichner had been speaking to a human about all of these plans that he had and the things that he was interested in and his mental state, a human would have escalated it to another human to make sure that somebody was checking on him and seeing if he was okay and checking to see if something dangerous might be about to happen.
OpenAI told CNN in a statement, quote, "Last year's mass shooting at Florida State University was a tragedy, but ChatGPT is not responsible for this terrible crime. ChatGPT provided factual responses to questions with information that could be found broadly across public sources on the internet, and it did not encourage or promote illegal or harmful activity." Joining us now is Bakari Sellers. He's an attorney for Strom Law, representing the family of Thiru Chaba, a victim in the FSU shooting. He was on campus that day related to FSU dining services. And as for Bakari, he's a CNN political commentator. I want to make sure we note that as well. Nice to see you, Bakari. First of all, how is the family doing? And if you could just elaborate on why they feel OpenAI is responsible for Thiru's death.
So the first question is a good one, and I'm glad we're starting there. He had a very strong wife who he leaves here, and he has somebody who just graduated 5th grade, and he has a 5-year-old. When you think about this season where you're having graduations and you're having programs at the end of the school year, you understand that that family is going through a great deal of sorrow and tragedy, wishing that he would walk back through that door. But they want the community to know that there's a special thank you for everybody who stepped in and stepped up. As for OpenAI and ChatGPT, there were a number of things that we recognized throughout the 13,000 back and forth chats that the shooter had with ChatGPT, or this AI bot. Not just the planning on the day of. I mean, you can talk about him asking about the Columbine shooting, him asking about how would people be remembered in infamy, what time should he go to campus where there would be the most people present on campus. He asked about guns up until minutes before he fired the first shots. He utilized ChatGPT as somewhat of a co-conspirator throughout this process. And over the years or year prior to and having these conversations with ChatGPT, there was no recognition or concern. In fact, this should have been escalated to a human for review. Some of the responses that ChatGPT had given based upon some of the previous conversations they had should have been limited in their response. And I think that if steps were taken and safeguards were put in place and not a dollar put over the lives of humans, this may not have happened.
As you heard, OpenAI says ChatGPT simply provides factual responses to questions from public service sources and did not encourage any sort of harmful activity. It also says it directed him to mental health professionals. How do you respond to those points?
I mean, we will respond. I think that ChatGPT has an awesome opportunity to respond to our 76-page complaint, and then we will respond in kind. I can tell you this, however, ChatGPT is rushing a product out to market to make sure that they get their $1 trillion IPO. The same day we filed this lawsuit, ChatGPT, OpenAI, announced a $16 billion consulting arm. They're doing all of this without making sure that the necessary safeguards are in place to prevent these tragedies from happening. This individual, Eichner, utilized ChatGPT the day of this shooting, all the way up until moments before he fired the first shots, talking about his mental health, talking about weaponry, talking about making sure that media paid attention. Pamela, he even asked how many people would have to be shot to make sure that this would garner the attention that he wanted it to garner. I mean, there were so many steps along the way that if he were actually talking to Pamela Brown or Wolf Blitzer, you would call the authorities. You would call a mental health professional. you would check on him. It was so disturbing throughout this process. And honestly, dating back the year where you had these 13,000 back and forths, it was more than disturbing. And ChatGPT did nothing to make sure that a tragedy didn't occur.
Yeah. And you know, what's interesting here is that Elon Musk is doing the same thing with Grok. And both of these companies have gotten their way. You know, Elon Musk already got his government contracts. You know what I mean? While Grok is like doing something like porno with little kids, something like that. You know, creating porno with little kids, imagery, AI imagery, or some shit like this. And then here's ChatGPT. They're looking for government contracts too. That's what that IP is all about, pretty much. They want to sell. The big buyer in the United States is the government. You see what I mean? So they're trying to get to that point. But again, everybody else is watching the implementation of AI in the United States and how it's going to go. The implementation of robots, how it's going to go, because that is part of the plan. You know, they're not just, you know, if you think that they're just making the robots to be products for people to buy in their own homes, you know, no, that's just a step in the same direction as robots going to be out on the fucking street. Robots are going to be taking your job in the factory. Like, straight up, this is what's coming. And the question, if you want to make it social, if you want to make it an issue of we're doing all this to help American people, right? The question is, how does it help American people improve their lives in reality? What's the comprehensive plan to make sure that American citizens benefit? Their lifestyle is elevated by the introduction of AI and by the introduction of robots. How is it going to enhance the average American's life? How is it going to improve? Or is it going to hinder? You see what I mean? Are more people going to become poorer because because there's no jobs anymore? Are more people going to be more surveilled by robots because of AI and now in the robot brain? You see what I mean? Spying on people. Fighting, taking care of people. I mean, what do you want? Machines coming after you as the police now? Like, straight up. You're not happy with the regular police? You ain't happy with the human police? Now you're going to have robot police too? And then human police. What if the robots police start policing your ass? Better think about it while you got a chance. I see Six Amelia says, unlike traditional, she says, I was illiterate, dyslexia, however, also tested at 120 on IQ test at age 16. Education doesn't necessarily equate to intelligence. Well, intelligence is different. Formal education, that's something else. I'm not questioning someone's intelligence. You see what I mean? But, you know, I'm not saying that this is a form of intelligence. Yeah, it is. It's a form of intelligence. It's just pretty low. It's pretty low. But here's the thing. Formal education, civics, having a place to go where you can actually learn the truth about your own country. That's not the same as intelligence. You can have intelligence without a whole lot of knowledge. Just because you're intelligent doesn't know you know your civics. Doesn't mean you know your American history. Doesn't mean you know your American Constitution. Doesn't mean it at all. And that's my exact point. I mean, but going to formal education doesn't guarantee, like, let's say you take an engineering degree. That doesn't mean you took a degree in civics. Right? You see where I'm getting to? So my focus is I'm not trying to say that people don't have intelligence, but what you use your intelligence for. You see what I mean? I mean, some of these people might have some kind of fucking intelligence, but when it comes to knowing their civics, this is what it is. Here's the civics. It's right here.
I do anything to make you happy. What is that? Oh, Trump, you are my daddy. Yeah, I do anything to make you happy.
I mean, this is what they're doing. You know what I'm saying, with their civics. You know what I mean? And yeah, this guy may be a great he might be a great electrician somewhere, or a great plumber, or a great truck driver, but his civics, he don't know a goddamn thing. And I think that's the problem there, you know. And so we need to get access. More people need to have access to, you know, to civics programs and things like that. And that's what I think personally. History classes, take it more serious. Take it more serious. Here's an example of somebody who's really thinks he's so fucking smart too, but has mangled civics. He's mangled his own Constitution. I don't even know why he's even quoting the Constitution, because he's got the whole thing backwards. But here it is.
Supporters of Project 2025 think about the rights of women and black men in America. Here's what they had to say.
The Founding Fathers restricted voting rights for vast majorities of people, including women. The women didn't receive the right to vote until the 19th Amendment.
And then we fixed that.
I don't think that was a good thing.
You don't think so?
I don't think it was a good thing. I believe
the 19th Amendment?
Yeah. Every person, women, men, black, white, whatever, has equal dignity under the law and before God. That doesn't mean they'll have the same roles and should have the same influence in a society.
So who should have influence in our society?
Christian leaders.
White Christian men.
White Christian men.
I mean, that guy's probably smart at something. You know what I'm saying? It's just not civics. It's just not the government. It's just not policy. It's just not nothing that he's talking about. You know what I mean? He's out of his depth on that one. And if he's interested, he should go somewhere. He should have a place to go to learn the shit. You know? So I think having formal situation where you could do that, you know, sure, you could do it at home. But look, this is what these guys got at home. They got their education on the internet. They got their education from somebody who doesn't have an image on their, you know, a person who doesn't reveal themselves over the internet. You know what I mean? That's where they got his whole debate from. You know, they don't even know where these silly debates come from. It's been crafted for them and spread as disinformation across the net. You know, now had they have the interest in civics, had they had a opportunity to do something formal with it, it might turn out different. You know what I mean? It might turn out different. Yeah. Why do they all look like quadruplets, man? These motherfuckers, yo. It's just embarrassing, but yeah, you know, hey, I'm not trying to fat shame or trying to, you know, shame them that way. I'm just saying, listen to their words. Donald Trump, you are my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy. What is you can't explain away that. We don't even have to talk about how they look. Listen to what they say and listen to how they sound. That shit is troubling. All of them, it's what they say that is the problem, man. What they say is just, it's fucking scary. And yeah, it's scary. I don't understand it. Now, I'm going to pivot here. I'm going to be out. I got to, I want to see one other thing, though. There was something, Democracy Docket, about saving democracy. This is more of a serious, all this shit is serious, but this is the part where I want to drive home, because it's really, everything I'm doing is about this election. And any election that's happening in the United States of America on the federal level, you know, including congressional, Supreme Court, these kind of things. I mean, not Supreme Court, Senate, I'm sorry. Because we're under attack. And every day we have to remind people the importance of voting. Don't let people fool you out of voting. The voting is important. It's the most important thing in your life. You are headed towards hard times. And one of the reasons why we're headed towards hard times is because we have people that are uninspired, like Meta Fredrickson said, uninspired about their democracy. So they're not voting, obviously, because of that reason, you know, and that's a, you know, Americans need to peep game on that. Like, what's going to inspire Americans to vote? Our politicians need to peep that, you know, we need to ask ourselves, but there's also another responsibility. We still have to have the strength and the knowledge to understand. You have to understand this. No matter how you feel, how power is yielded is through your vote. Everything hinges on maximum turnout in voting. That is how you send your message. In registering, it hinges on that too, because when they see high voter registration, They know they need to get on their job. But when they see voter turnout in the elections, that is the way you teach them how you feel about them. That is the way you show them you're not a joke and you're not to be taken advantage of. And when you put down the tool, you put down the vote, you are putting down your whip. That is the only chance you get to whip these politicians into shape. Every other day, it's you getting whipped. So you decide how it's going to go from there on. But so having said that, Democracy Docket, they've been talking a little bit today about what to do in these hard times regarding the society and voting. And so I'm going to end on this serious note, and I will see you guys back in the late hours of the wee morning. So I appreciate everybody for coming out.
Pretty dark time.
Here we go. Let's follow up on Mark Elias from Democracy Docket. Appreciate everybody for coming out. Appreciate you too, also 6 Cents, and everybody else in the chat. Appreciate y'all. So Rafika, cult devotees, via airship. Exactly, man. It's embarrassing, man. It's a low time. I've never the best thing that my parents taught me is to learn how to think for yourself. Think for yourself. Somebody tells you something, think everything through that they told you and ask yourself, did it make sense? And if it makes sense, then hey, you got some great advice. You got some new ideas. But if you don't think for yourself, you won't know if the difference between something that's bullshit and something that's factual, something that works for you in your life. You can't just repeat things because somebody else said it. You got to be willing to do some of the research yourself, and just like I try to encourage doing. I look shit up about the Constitution live, and I find things I don't even know about just live here. You see what I mean? But I'm not going to just be repeating shit. The whole point of my show is to actually let's find out for real what this is about. Is this fact or is this fiction? Or is there something more complex to it? How do these things work together? Or are we just going to generalize? Or are we just going to be like these damn numbskulls running around talking about Donald Trump, you are my daddy. I'll do anything to make you happy. Is that all the critical skills we going to exhibit, we going to have in life? Because those skills ain't going to get you nowhere. They're going to get you broke. And our country is going broke fast, man. But in any case, let's peep what they got going on here at Democracy Docket.
We're watching people shot on the
Peace,
streets.
everybody.
We're watching
Appreciate y'all.
kids being thrown into cages. You have a war going on that has not been authorized by Congress. I don't even think there's been interest on the White House on having it authorized by Congress. You've got now the Supreme Court just taking a sledgehammer to voting rights. And people go up to you and they say, what do I do? I'm worried. I'm concerned. But what can I do? What should I do?
Well, first of all, they got to tune into your show and tune into what Mark Elias is up to, because you are our guy defending the Constitution and defending voting rights all over the country. And check out Damon Hewitt and check out Leah Littman. I mean, we've got a movement for strong democracy and freedom in the country. But let me say this. You got to fall out of love with the Supreme Court. I did a long time ago. I fell out of love at least at the time of Bush versus Gore, or really Shaw versus Reno was what shocked me out of my stupor as a constitutional law professor. I mean, these are decisions that have no basis in the text of the Constitution, in the history of the Constitution, in precedent, none of it. Okay, so fall out of love with the Supreme Court. This has been a reactionary, conservative, pro-political white supremacy institution since the beginning. Ask yourself, what did the Supreme Court do between the founding of the country and the Civil War to help enslaved human beings? Nothing other than to cement their slavery into place in the Dred Scott decision. And then even after the Civil War and the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendments, the Reconstruction Amendments that were wrought from the blood, sweat, and tears of the freedom movements and enslaved people rising up and the Union struggle in the Civil War. What do? They undercut all of it, leading up to Plessy versus Ferguson, which just constitutionalized Jim Crow apartheid in America. And so there's still a little halo around the Supreme Court from Brown versus Board and Terry versus Ohio, Roe versus Wade, a few decades where you could say it was on the side of the rights and freedoms of the people, but it has returned to that old reactionary political white supremacy baseline. And we're in the middle of it. So I don't have high expectations of the court. And I too was predicting this. I put my faith in the people of the United States, which is why I just got back from Nebraska. I was down in North Carolina and Florida. Everywhere people are organizing and standing up. Whose Constitution is it? It doesn't belong to the Supreme Court. It doesn't belong to the federal judiciary. It belongs to us. The three most important words are the three first words of the Constitution. It's our Constitution. So fall out of love with the Supreme Court. Take the Constitution as yours. Read it, hold it close to your heart, teach it, share it with people, and let's make the ideals real. And people will stop me and say, well, what's our guarantee that we're going to have a fair election? What's our guarantee that our votes are going to be counted on? There is no guarantee except that we're fighting. Everybody on this panel and everybody out there in the audience is fighting for it. So if you want a guarantee, you buy a dishwasher. If you want a democracy, you go and you fight for it every single day.
Facts.
Damon, I'm sure in the last few days, your phone has to be ringing off that. And people are worried. People are angry.
Yo, sorry about that. I hit the wrong button, y'all. But what he's saying is serious. I mean, these are serious times. And, I just really hope people heed these words. Like, heed those words. If you want if you want a guarantee, buy a washing machine. If you want a democracy, fight for it. Like, straight up. And you can hear the words are changing. That's because people know the clock is running out on democracy in the U.S. So, it seems, that I guess they wanted to wear down some people's, wear down your reserves and things like this. I don't know what these lunatics were thinking they're going to do, but the clock is ticking. And we need to let every American know exactly what was just said here. Let me take it back, because this is the facts. This is the facts. It's your democracy. It's not the Supreme Court's democracy. The American people elect officials that can fire them any day of the week and anybody else. That is how it works. They work for you specifically. They work for you, the citizen, only if you vote. Only if you vote. And the people that don't vote, sorry, but you can't complain. That's how it really works. There might be bad things that happen to you, but in a democracy, you vote about those bad things to change them. That's what you do. Otherwise, you just preaching to the choir. You see what I mean? Everybody knows things aren't good, but only some people do something about it. You see? So
our Constitution. So fall out of love with the Supreme Court. Take the Constitution as yours. Read it, hold it close to your heart, teach it, share it with people, and let's make the ideals real. And people will stop me and say, well, what's our guarantee that we're going to have a fair election? What's our guarantee that our votes are going to be counted on? There is no guarantee except that we're fighting. Everybody on this panel and everybody out there in the audience is fighting for it. So if you want a guarantee, you buy a dishwasher. If you want a democracy, you go and you fight for it every single day.
Damon, I'm sure in the last few days, your phone has to be ringing off the hook. And people are worried. People are angry. People are afraid that they will not just be disempowered and disenfranchised, but that their allies won't be with them. And I hear that all the time in the last week. I've had the question posed to me, and I've been very clear, like, this ally's not going anywhere. But what do you tell people? What do you tell folks who look at this and say, how is it possible that when black voters were discriminated against, they were told to wait 2 years? And when white voters claimed they were discriminated against, Sam Alito said it can't wait a day. Can't wait 32 days.
I first give perspective and ask people to understand the long view. At Brian Stevenson's Equal Justice Institute's Legacy Museum, there's this table encased in glass, I think, where there's a litany of Supreme Court decisions about race. it's hard to find cases that were positive. Most of them are dastardly bad, whether it be voting rights or something else, or what have you. I remind people that as long as we've had elections in this country, there's been racial discrimination in voting, and that Black people have never been fully represented. Yet, we have fought, scraped, and achieved some degree of political voice and power, often in coalition with allies who are white, who are Latino, who are Asian, who what have you. It's like collective multiracial democracy. So we cannot give up. I want people to use the only superpower we have left, which is the ability to cast a ballot, which we defend every day, and to make sure that that ballot is counted once it's cast, because we can't take that for granted anymore. Over my shoulder, viewers see a sign, or part of a sign for election protection. That's the coalition that came about after the 2000 Florida debacle, because voters needed to know where to turn for immediate advice. You can call that hotline 866-OUR-VOTE. We have it available in over a dozen languages as well. So there's no excuse, no reason. Arabic, Espanol, multiple Asian languages as well with our partners throughout the coalition. People have to check your status. Make sure that you are registered and that you know where to vote. Because if you haven't voted in a few years, guarantee you a lot has changed. Time, place, manner restrictions, polling hours, early voting hours, mail-in votes. What happens if you don't have the right postmark? What happens even if you do have a postmark? We have to, I wouldn't say educate ourselves, we have to arm ourselves with clear information and make sure that we, our family, our neighbors, our entire communities actually are able to vote and vote our interests. That's the
Leah,
superpower
I think
we have.
I've got the hardest question for you.
Uh-oh.
Because you're asked not just by your listeners, but by your students. And these are people who are spending a lot of money or taking out loans to become part of a profession that is committed at its core to the U.S. Constitution and the rule of law. And so you show back, I don't know, for all I know, you're probably in the middle of finals right now. So you're probably not showing up in a classroom. But, at some point you're going to have to show up in a classroom. And you're going to have a student look at you and say, I don't understand, Professor, everything you're telling us about the Constitution, everything you're telling us about these cases. What I read is just screwing over Black voters because they can. And so what do you tell those students? What do you tell your listeners that they should do with that? Do they just look past it? Do they just say, well, I'll take the bar exam and I'll go into corporate mergers? Do I give up on this? What do you tell them?
I'm going to chime in here on that. African Americans, Black Americans need to understand that just like what they did, they're hearing that they're just doing this to show that they can. What they're doing is they're trying to encourage you to not vote. That's why they're doing it that way, right? They're trying to discourage you from voting. They don't want you believing in democracy. That's why they're doing it. So what you have to do is be intelligent enough to know that and do the opposite. Look at my cat in the background. Hello. What the fuck? This cat can't live without me, man. I swear, man. Anyway, yeah. But seriously, they want you to not vote. So they're going to do everything to discourage you from voting because they know that's how the system works. Okay? They know if too many, and it's not just you. Think about this. You got to look at this in the totality. African Americans are being discouraged to vote, but you're not the only ones being discouraged to vote. They are targeting different people. That's why 80 million fucking people don't vote in the United States of America in the last election. And African Americans ain't that 80 million. You're at maximum could have been, we're 40 million. So the maximum that it could have been, 1/3 maybe didn't vote. The maximum it could have been is 10 million African Americans. The rest is everybody else who was discouraged to vote. So all these people need to understand the game. Vote. Do the opposite of how you feel if you're depressed. They want you to be depressed and feel like your voting doesn't matter and making it hard to vote, give you any reason to not vote, right? And you have to do the opposite. make sure you fucking vote to teach them a lesson about trying to fuck with you, because they are literally, if you do not vote, you may as well be a slave. You have to understand that. They are going to take money. You're just a sharecropper if you don't fucking vote. That's it. They're going to take your money. They're going to keep collecting those taxes and then keep reducing your services. That's what's happened. And your only way of stopping them is by voting. That's your way. That's the smart way. That's the smart way, by showing them you ain't stupid, by showing them you know the game plan, and that the game plan is to try to get you to not even be interested in voting. Because if they got you feeling like you're not even interested in voting, they got you exactly where the fuck they need you to be, where they want you to be. Submissive. Like straight up. So peep game, yo. Peep game.
I tell them they shouldn't fight their instinct and what they believe and what they see.
Fight your instinct. Exactly. That's exactly what you got to do. Don't fall for the bullshit. And if there's an African American telling another African American your vote don't count, tell that person, fuck you.
Shut the fuck up.
And if you're somebody else that's telling your neighbors, if there's somebody in your neighborhood telling you your vote don't count, you got to be smart enough to tell them,
shut the fuck up.
Like, that's really what it is. That's really what it is. And if you're not smart enough and man enough and woman enough to stand up for yourself and say that, you're going to get walked all over in life. Straight up. And don't you dare say you give a fuck about your people, because you don't. Because when you're not voting, you don't give a fuck about your neighbor. You don't give a fuck about the child. You don't give a fuck about the elderly person. You don't give a fuck about anybody, because that's how they're going to spend the money, according to who votes.
Sam, and
there
I'll
it is.
go into.
All right, there it is. So I'm going to be out. I'm going to let this play out. I appreciate everybody for coming out. All right, one.
Look at you and say, I don't understand, Professor, everything you're telling us about the Constitution, everything you're telling us about these cases. You know, what I read is just screwing over black voters because they can. And so what do you tell those students? What do you tell your listeners that they should do, like, with that? Like, do they just look past it? Do they just say, well, you know what, I'll take the bar exam and I'll go into corporate mergers? Like, do I give up on this? Like, what do you tell them?
I tell them they shouldn't fight their instinct and what they believe and what they see with their eyes. You know, if that is what they believe, then part of becoming a lawyer is being able to explain that to other people, because part of how we get out of this mess is to educate ourselves, to inform others, and to organize. And part of becoming a lawyer is studying the law, understanding the law, and being able to communicate about the law to other individuals. Being a lawyer, you know, doesn't guarantee you are going to work for democracy, the rule of law, you know, notwithstanding the standards of our profession, you know, and the fact that it should. Law and being a lawyer is just a tool, right, to fight for things you believe in. And so you should use, right, your training and the law, you know, to make this country more democratic, to protect the rights of historically subordinated groups, and to challenge people who are doing otherwise.
Did you like this video and want to watch more? Tap the link on your screen for the full version or go to youtube.com.
All right, y'all. I'm going to be out. I appreciate everybody for showing up. I'll be back in, let me see, what is it? Hold on, 8. About 9 hours from now. I appreciate everybody. Once again, it's always great to be with people that give a goddamn, that care. You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs to know that there's others like each other that care about the times that we're in, and that we're paying attention, that we're just not ignoring suffering. We're not just ignoring people's realities. And that's what civilized people do. That's how you show you civilized. You know what I mean? And that's also being progressive, you know, forward motion. That's how you maintain forward motion, you know. So so it's always a pleasure to be here with everybody. It's wonderful to do the show, and it's only getting better. So I appreciate the mods and all the viewers. If you've been watching the video, if you watch it later, I appreciate you too. No problem. And everybody that's subscribed. If you haven't click like as always on the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And let's continue the journey together. All right, I'm out. I'll be back in a few 9 hours from now. Appreciate everybody. Have a good rest of your day. All right. See ya. damn, I can't wait to perform live. I'm telling you, I'm gonna record some stuff too. I'm gonna show y'all. Peace.
They don't know that I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know that I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, that I'm gonna be your mind tonight. Born on this planet full of hate, inherited from our harshest past, embedded in our society's identity. But then again, can you tell me that's free? They explain to you what your mind should perceive, suggest things they want you to believe, like your skin color dictates your race. They're calling you an idiot to your face, like life is much more simple than that. We're all slaves and the cards are stacked, while we fight over problems we can fix. Industrialists turn our kids to addicts. The television does a job, introduce you. The radio's right there to seduce you, keep you locked on the wrong damn track. Cigarettes is just legalized crack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. They want you to catch a damn heart attack. But stop believing in the flag, it's a trap. Cause men rule this world, that's a fact. They don't know, but I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, that I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, that you're gonna free your mind tonight. 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 If you see a man that needs help, then help a brother. If you see a sister on her own, still love her. Cause life is about how you choose to see it. But you gotta teach people how to learn to see it. The planet's been through suffering many times. We propagate many wars many times. The people need to wake up and stop accepting deceit from their own government's deception. You can't blame the people for needing protection from the government's bad reputation. We need to sing a song called Free the Nation. Cause we done had a whole lot of separation. Racism, classism, nationalism, based on keeping people out on the plantation. That's the plan, no doubt. Cause rich people got a plan, no doubt. If you still don't understand and believe that we are all one from the same mother, and respect each woman and man with the same consideration you would like to be given on a daily, then you need to retire so the new generation can take over and show you how to live and govern this place we call Earth home. Everybody here, yeah. They don't know, kid. They don't know. But I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. They don't know, that I'm gonna hit them with this shit. They don't lie, that I'm gonna free your mind tonight. They don't know, that I'm gonna make it right tonight. They don't lie, but I'm gonna say it like I know. it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. Orientation in this place we call Earth. Love from conception, from your mom, your birth. Pops planted the seed in the turf. From there, you must find out what life is worth. Grew up learning your do's and don'ts. Before working on your motor skills, working on your coordination, right? And orientation to what you like. The brand new thing, so gentle the soul we're capturing. In this distance, the alphabets the kids sing. They celebrate when it's time to go outside. As you get older, you learn to let all the troubles in your life just glide away. Stay focused, keep it smooth, keep you cool. Things in life can make it get rude. If you let it, don't let it. 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 If you let it, let it, let it, what? If you let it, don't let it, let it. If you let it, what? Don't let it. If you let it, don't let it, let it. Don't let it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We embark on this journey through your soul. We wanna have a good time. We embark on this journey through your soul. We wanna have a good time. We do something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I, on a mission to salvation. Our spirit be our transportation. Within your doom, a little love and that is true. For real, we bring something that you know you can't deny. We're just slipping in and out on a journey, you and I. What? We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you want, you can have it. We got what you need, you want it. We know what you want, we got it. We know what you feel, you want it. We got what you in a funky behavior. I came to relax your mind. You can recline on what? On this here rhyme. I like the style. I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, child. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you. It's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope cry. Your vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can where you're at. Just relax and just hear a dope cry. Your vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can where you're at. Entertainment at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills. Cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. It's your adult pride. Life is real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. And here adult pride. Life is real nice, everything is real bad. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and start